55 degrees. Time now is 6:07. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Good morning, Rose. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, McGraw.
Did you hear about the Mexican fireman who had twins?
No, I did not hear about the Mexican fireman who had twins.
He named one Jose and the other Jose B.
Good fireman joke to get us going this morning. Jose, and Jose B.
Yeah.
Also a little diversity in the jokes. You like that too?
Well, Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
It's a made-up holiday for
It's
of
really
the Mexican persuasion that they don't
something
celebrate.
happened that day.
Yeah, but they don't know.
Everyone celebrated except all
Except
the
for-
Latinos.
except for,
people
yeah,
from
Mexico.
Mexico.
Except for the
Yeah.
Mexicans.
Yeah.
All right.
They're not celebrating it in St. Louis this year. They canceled the Cinco de Mayo celebrations.
On Cherokee.
Just the one in Cherokee.
Well, where are they going to have the big one? In Ladue?
Okay.
Town and Country? Everyone's going to go down Town and Country and have
Clayton.
the big...
Maybe not. Maybe just on the porches or the, outcroppings of these Mexican restaurants in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Little street parties, if you will.
But also, Cherokee Street would have been a little desolate today because it's going to rain all day.
Yeah. You come to think of it, the Irish celebrate St. Patrick's Day for no reason at all.
Exactly.
Over there is a religious holiday.
Yeah. So it's not like it's
We're pretty good at
making
making up holidays that
Yeah.
involve
Drinking.
booze.
I mean, you're celebrating that the man drove all the snakes out of Ireland.
Have a beer.
Looks good to me.
How about a parade?
All right. On the show today, Karen Travers is going to be joining us from the White House as the stare down continues over the Strait of Hormuz. Stephen Portnoy is going to be joining us. There was another gunman, random gunman, right by the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. Stephen Portnoy's got that story. Peter Harlambous has got the latest on Rudy Giuliani. He remains hospitalized and in critical condition with pneumonia. So Peter Harlambous has that. Rudy Giuliani, once considered America's mayor, now has been disbarred. So we'll get into that with Peter Harlambous. Mike Dubusky is going to be joining us. He's going to explain why GameStop is trying to buy eBay.
Did you see that on Squawk Box yesterday?
I did not see that on Squawk Box.
So CNBC, they interviewed the guy who used to run Chewy, who is now the head of GameStop.
Yeah.
They asked him, "You don't have enough money for this. How are you going to do it?"
Yeah.
And he kept repeating, "Well, it's half cash, half stock options." Yes, but you're still $9 billion short. Well, it's going to be half cash, half stock options.
These financiers, they figure out a way to get cash. He borrows the rest.
Yes,
Or
but
something.
He does not know how to do that at the moment.
Well, he doesn't know. He doesn't know how to get there. But what's his face found banks to give him money to buy Twitter, right? So
Elon.
yeah. Now I know he's worth 3 times that, but we'll talk to that. Also, I'm calling foul on this new study that says that somehow schools that ban smartphones aren't seeing any results. I'm sorry. First of all, it's way too early to tell. And second of all, you're going to sit there with a straight face and tell me that somehow banning smartphones in school, it has no effect, none whatsoever. That's just laughable. I didn't do the study, but I find it laughable that these researchers are trying to somehow tell us that banning cell phones has no effect on children going through high school. I find that hard to believe. We'll check in with Mike Dubusky on that as well. Bob Ramsey going to be along. My Cardinals keep on rolling. Antonio French is going to be along. Altair Travel and Cruises. And our good friend Ryan McClure. We get a double dip of Ryan McClure. We get him today through a quirk of the schedule. We get him today to check in, part of Give STL Day. And then tonight he's going to be on the nighttime show, part of our National Park Series. And I do not set the schedule. They set the schedule. And he had to reschedule for some other reason, and so they picked May 5th.
Coincidence.
And so he's going to be on the show tonight giving us sort of conversation to the country about the arch and all the renovations and all that type of stuff.
The Jefferson Expansion Memorial.
Yes. So it's double duty. If you don't like Ryan McClure, don't listen to the station today.
Sure.
So there you go. You got all that going on. Does anybody watch the Hulk Hogan miniseries on Netflix?
Our friend Lynn Venhouse did, and she loved it.
Somebody on the text line. Good morning. Did you watch the Netflix miniseries on Hulk Hogan? I was never a big wrestling fan, but what an amazing show. Highly recommended. All right.
It's on Netflix, and it's everything about his life. So scandals included.
I find it hard. I find it hard to find a documentary that I don't like.
Yeah, people are interesting.
I love documentaries. They're fascinating. And I can imagine Hulk Hogan would be just as fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, all right, good.
Even if you don't like wrestling, because he was an actor and he was a personality.
Yeah, there's a book out. This woman wrote it, and her name escapes me. I had her on the evening show, and she talked about like how these people get into wrestling and the minor league circuits and how they have to come up with it's sort of like being a comedian. They go to open mic nights, they go to open wrestling nights, and they have to develop a character.
Broadway Athletic Club.
They have to develop a whole. They have to catch fire. They have to get a fan base. They've got to do social media. And it's very much like being a comedian or a rock band. You go to Battle of the Bands, and you go to this, and you go to that, and you go to this free festival, and you sort of and then all of a sudden you sort of catch on, and all of a sudden you become Hulk Hogan. But
if that doesn't work, you become Terry. Whoever,
Ed Schwartz, and but you have to wrestle on the weekends, and then Uber drive on during the day, or go to the restaurant and work as a busboy in the morning and wrestle at night. It was a really fascinating conversation about how do you make it as a wrestler.
And St. Louis is a wrestling mecca.
St. Louis is a wrestling mecca. 6:15 here, Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul Kopsky is in the St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. 70 West is open at Route TW in Forestell after being closed due to an accident. 270 South, make that 255 South, is shut down at Illinois 162 in Pontoon Beach. That's for what IDOT is calling an ISP event. There's a stalled vehicle on 70 East at 141, causing congestion coming off the Blanchette Bridge. And 5570 East is reduced to 2 lanes between Exchange and Illinois 203. From the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
The rain gear is a requirement today. We're looking at periods of rain and thunderstorms under cloudy skies. It won't rain all day, but there's going to be on and off showers and a few rumbles throughout the course of the day. It's a cooler one, too. Temperatures drop into the mid-50s and then basically hold there into the afternoon. Clouds tonight, some scattered showers down to 46 for a cool Wednesday morning low. And then after a spot shower or two Wednesday morning, the rest of tomorrow looks dry. 59, though, still cool for the high tomorrow under mostly cloudy skies. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
Outdoor living with Pat Leahy. Just started working on a deck on my block. Not mine, mind you. He's working on my neighbor's. Dropped off all the materials, and in a couple of days, neighbor's going to have a brand new deck courtesy of Outdoor Living. Metal framing, composite decking. And they're going to slap a 50-year warranty on that bad boy, so it'll be good to go. My neighbor searched and researched all over the place, and this guy is meticulous in finding out what's the best deal and the best value and everything else. And of course, he landed on Outdoor Living. Not surprising, because when you compare what Outdoor Living has done all these years to all of the competition, people often land on Outdoor Living because the customer service, the pricing, the design aspect of it, the reputation. All of it. Outdoor Living. It all starts at the showroom on Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. It's a great resource for you because they put a lot of resources in there to show you all the different rail options and lighting options and styles and colors and designs and everything else. And now Outdoor Living is, it's always been online. Now they're getting ready to do they're doing his. At some point in the relatively near future, they're going to start doing my deck. And just a few weeks away from inviting everybody over for a little cocktail, a little barbecue on a brand new deck with a 50-year warranty. Think about that. Emerson's going to be 55 years old, and that deck is still going to have a warranty. That's a pretty good deck to build. Outdoor Living, 314-966-3325 or outdoorlivinginc.com.
It's the season to support our St. Louis nonprofits, and we're shining a spotlight on Gateway Arch National Park's official nonprofit conservancy, Gateway Arch Park Foundation. They need your help to support their Journey Fund, an educational program that brings local students from under-resourced schools to experience their hometown national park and learn about St. Louis history, free of charge.
Since 2019, Gateway Arch Park Foundation has helped more than 11,000 students and teachers have this monumental experience at the Arch. Thank you for supporting this amazing work with a donation. Go to archpark.org/Journey Fund to learn more.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Tabernacle Community Development Corporation is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping eliminate poverty as well as exclusion by improving the social, educational, and economic infrastructure which leads to self-sufficiency. Their social service and community development programs work to improve lives by empowering the individual. Give STL Day is on May 7th. Please consider making a donation to Tabernacle Community Development Corporation online at tabdev.org.
To show our appreciation for everything military service members do for our country, Auto House BMW offers up to $5,000 toward a new BMW purchase for veterans, active military, military families, and first responders. During the Power the Mission sales event, everyone enjoys rates starting at 1.99% APR, great lease and purchase credits, and we'll donate $50 for every purchase to Team Red, White, and Blue, an organization supporting veterans. We're proud to be part of this mission and hope you'll join us at Auto House BMW.
Live from Studio 550, this is The McGraw Show on KTRS.
$622 here, Big 550 KTRS. Yesterday they announced the Pulitzer Prize winners, and one of the we got time here. Yeah, one of the things that drives me crazy, nails on the chalkboard, and I know I'm guilty of lots of things, saying the wrong time and talking about gambling machines when you guys are tired of listening about gambling machines. But the one thing that kills me, and once I point this out, you're going to hate me for pointing this out. It's when people mispronounce the word Pulitzer. It's pull, as in pull you in, Pulitzer. But you watch, people say Pulitzer all the time, and it's the worst. It is the worst. Pulitzer. You win a Pulitzer. You don't win a Pulitzer.
When I have to read that copy at my other job, there's literally a phonetic spelling in there because so many people.
Yeah, butcher it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, movies, TVs, other journalists,
and
actors.
Why is that? Like, why is there?
I don't know. And I'm guilty of all sorts of things. Pulitzer. So.
And you'd think people in St. Louis would know that.
Right, because Joseph Pulitzer ran the Post-Dispatch. Yeah.
How do you pronounce Coupon?
He's writing it down.
Pon.
Coupon.
Okay.
Not coupon? It's not coupon?
What do you...
Coupon.
Yeah. It's
coupon.
Some
Coupon.
people say coupon. Some people say coupon.
Yeah, coupon.
Just asking.
No, I hear you.
Route or route?
So I have the list of Pulitzer winners. Let's see here. The Washington Post, the Minnesota Star Tribune won. The staff won for its reporting on the shooting of the Catholic school that killed 2 children and wounded 17. The committee called the reporting powerful and marked a thoroughness and compassion. The New York Times was awarded for what the committee called deeply reported stories that expose how Donald Trump has shattered constraints on conflicts of interest and exploited the money-making opportunities that come with power, enriching his families and allies. Susie Nielsen, Megan Fan Muntz, and Sarah DiNatale of the San Francisco Chronicle won. They were awarded the award for their series on Burned, which demonstrated how insurance companies use algorithms have failed Californians who lost their homes to fire by systematically undervaluing their properties, denying claims, and making it impossible for them to rebuild. Jeffrey Horwitz and Egan Pham of Reuters. They won for inventive and revelatory reporting on Meta that detailed the technologies company's willingness to expose users, including children, to scams and AI manipulation. Let's see here. Local reporting. David Alamari and Jeannie Monk of the Connecticut Mirror, Sophie Chow and Haru Koren of ProPublica, and the staff of the Chicago Tribune. They awarded 2 prizes in this category. One, the Connecticut Mirror and ProPublica for what the committee called an impressive series of exposing how the state's unique towing laws favored unscrupulous companies that overcharged residents, prompting swift and meaningful customer protections. And the staff of the Chicago Tribune won the other prize for reporting on how the Trump administration's militarized immigration sweep of the city that was described in vivid, muscular prose, how the staged-like incursion of ICE agents unified Chicagoans in resistance. Interesting. National reporting. Let's see here. Let's get another one here. Aaron Parsley of the Texas Monthly won for feature writing.
I read that article. It is amazing.
It gave the prize for extraordinary personal accounts of survival and loss written in the days after the Central Texas flooding that tore the writer's house out from under him and his family, taking the life of his nephew. That one?
Yeah. It's all about the Texas flood and Camp Mystic, and he wrote follow-up articles to that. And I think because of his writing, that was one of the reasons that Camp Mystic did not reopen this year.
Really? Interesting. Let's see here. There's one I'm getting to that was I just was really shocked by. Where's the one? Where's the Pablo Torre one? Feature photography. There's the photography ones always gets me. But the one was, here we go. Audio reporting. Pablo Torre, podcaster, won a Pulitzer. Pablo Torre's podcast is actually pretty good. They won for an investigation on how the Los Angeles Clippers seemingly circumvented the NBA's salary cap by funneling money to Kawhi Leonard. The podcast is produced by Meadowlark Media and licensed by the Athletic.
Wasn't that like through a charity?
It was, I think it was something along those lines. But yeah, no, it was. I mean, it's exposed the fraud. Yeah.
I mean,
so
it
there you
didn't
go.
help the Clippers at all.
There's the Clippers. The Clippers got to the finals, I think, one year. All right, let's see. Anyone else here? Yeah. Anyway,
Who decides this?
the Pulitzer Foundation and the Pulitzer Board.
And who makes just?
They read all the stuff they read all the stuff, and it's like the Oscars for writing or for news media.
I know. I just feel like a room's filled with just geniuses, just like really.
Yeah.
Intelligent people picking all this
I remember when JR won his Pulitzer. It was a big deal. Yeah,
You get $15,000.
Yeah, it's not the money. It's the title.
Yeah.
From now on, you will always be a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist.
And he started it with $2 million.
$2 million a long time ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so it was like
That was a lot of money.
$100 million now.
Yeah. 628 here, Big 550 KTRS. Go take a look at all the wonderful reporting that exposes the fraud. Interesting. It really is a cross-section of awards and stories and great stuff that should be commended. 629 here, Big 550 KTRS. St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, there's a two-car crash on 44 West past Arsenal, blocking the 3 right lanes, but it's not causing a big slowdown. And 255 South is shut down at Illinois 162 in Pontoon Beach for what IDOT is calling an ISP event. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rockwood School District. Are you looking for a new part-time or full-time job opportunity? Consider Rockwood School District with openings for custodians, cafeteria workers, and groundskeepers. With great benefits, competitive pay, and flexible hours. Apply online at rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs. From the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, thank you, Captain Paul. It's 58 degrees right now. It's as warm as it's going to get all day. Periods of rain. It's going to be this temperature all day long. Rainfall about a half an inch. Overnight tonight, cloudy. Occasional rain continues overnight with a low of 45. Tomorrow, we start to dry out with a high of 63. 54 right now. That's right where we are. It's about it. It's 6:30. Let's go to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
The Iran war risks reigniting after the U.S. tried to force open the Strait of Hormuz for commercial shipping, firing on Iranian forces and sinking 6 small boats targeting ships. But the shaky ceasefire seemed to hold today, even after the United Arab Emirates said Iran fired missiles and drones at it. The Supreme Court has restored broad access to the abortion pill mifepristone, blocking a ruling that had threatened to upend one of the main ways abortion is provided across the nation. The order issued Monday allows women seeking abortions to obtain the pill at pharmacies or through the mail without an in-person visit to a doctor. In local headlines, the Missouri Department of Transportation's Sponsor A Highway program is now available statewide. It was previously exclusive to the St. Louis and Kansas City areas. And Governor Mike Kehoe has proclaimed this week as Drinking Water Week in Missouri. It recognizes the importance of safe and reliable drinking water for communities across the state. 55 degrees at 6:31. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Thank you, Rose Dalton. Let's check Neighbors Credit Union, because at Neighbors Credit Union, actually, hold off on Neighbors Credit Union for a second. Hey, Rose, I don't like Cinco de Mayo, said no Juan ever. That's a good one.
Is that text of the day?
That is text of the day. We'll give that one a text of the day. Little current events. I don't like Cinco de Mayo, said no Juan ever.
Well done, sir. Or ma'am.
You receive a free Country Club Car Wash courtesy of Country Club Car Wash as the Country Club Car Wash text of the day.
And real quick, if you ever find yourself having a taco emergency, just call 911.
Okay, enough with the Juan jokes. That's funny because you know who was from Mexico? Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It is Revenge of the Fifth.
So, Revenge of the Fifth. Nice.
Thank you.
It's thick in here. All right, back to Neighbors Credit Union. NeighborsCU.org. They have something called the Home Everything line, a line of credit, which is home improvement and a home equity line. But it's not just a home equity line; it's a home everything line of credit. You can use it for home improvements, vacations, education, even debt consolidation. And what's great about Neighbors Credit Union is that it comes with a low introductory rate for the first 12 months. That's a pretty sweet deal. That's a home everything line. Now, what about a smart account for the young person in your life? It's not just an infant. It's not just a toddler. You can open up a smart account for anyone up to the age of 22. So you've got a teenager who just does not understand the value of a dollar. Nothing like opening up an account and say, look, this is your money. You're in charge of it, and watch them as when they have to make their own decisions about their money. And when you open up a smart account, the money has a higher APR, which means the child can learn about value of saving. If I don't spend, I have more money. The money grows. All very important to teach the next generation. Neighbors Credit Union, 8 area locations. To find the one nearest you, you can do most of this stuff online, neighborscu.org. But the 8 locations, where do you find them? Neighbors or neighborscu.org.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. You know how spring works in St. Louis. One week you're running the furnace, the next week you're flipping on the air conditioner. It's weather whiplash, and your HVAC system feels it too. That's why spring is the perfect time to have the experts at Premier Heating and Cooling check things out. Their technicians go through 5 years of training, well beyond industry standards. So when they perform a tune-up, they're making sure your system is running safely, efficiently, and ready for whatever the next St. Louis weather swing brings. If your furnace or air conditioner is older or starting to struggle, Premier can help with that too. They offer financing options that make replacing your system far more manageable, and a new unit can mean better comfort and lower energy bills all year long. So whether it's a quick tune-up or time for an upgrade, call the team that knows how to handle St. Louis weather. 636-916-1122, premierheatingcooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
I'm Jason Quillman, owner and founder of Window Depot USA of St. Louis. You don't replace your windows and doors every day, so when you do, make it count with the best product at the best value. At Window Depot USA of St. Louis, we bring you Energy Star most efficient triple pane windows built for maximum energy savings, superior sound control, and condensation resistance. And thanks to our national buying power, we offer high-performance triple pane windows competitively priced compared to other companies' double panes. Call Window Depot USA of St. Louis today at 636-939-4800 or visit us online at windowdepotstl.com.
This is The McGraw Show on KTRS.
$6:35 here at Big 550 KTRS. What is going on in the Strait of Hormuz? It seems like we're everywhere and nowhere, and that seems to be the line the next week. We're now in our 10th week. Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent. Karen, President Trump making some news over the weekend. What's he saying and what's actually going on?
Well, so what's happening is that this fragile 4-week ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran, if you talk to military experts and analysts right now, certainly concerns that it's on the brink of collapse. Iran has fired at the UAE. There was an oil facility that was hit yesterday. It was the first major attack on a U.S. regional ally since the ceasefire went into effect. And the UAE says that their air defense systems have engaged at least 12 ballistic missiles, 3 cruise missiles, and 4 drones. The president, though, is downplaying this. He told our John Carl yesterday that it was not heavy firing, and he says, we have it under control. He says, one way or the other, we win, and added to John, I always win. He did another interview yesterday with radio host Hugh Hewitt and told him that this could probably go on for another 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but said time is not of the essence for us. And on the critical question about the ceasefire being intact still, the president told Hewitt, I can't tell you that. And that's the key thing right now. The president has made a lot of threats about what would happen to Iran if they broke the ceasefire, if they didn't make a deal. And, right now, many we've talked to yesterday say this absolutely would break the ceasefire because they were striking an ally of the United States in the area. But the president not yet indicating that that's how he sees it. And it's not clear yet what the United States could potentially do in response.
President Trump tweeted out over the weekend or Sunday that the U.S. military was going to shepherd some ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Is that not happening now?
So not shepherd. It's not an actual escort. The military was calling it like a defensive umbrella, kind of providing cover for ships to go through the strait, but not an actual escort system, if you will. That is underway, according to the administration. They're trying to break this weeks-long traffic jam in the strait. The administration said yesterday that 2 U.S.-flagged commercial ships were able to make it through. But Iran, of course, not happy about this. They showed on their state media that the Iranian military had fired warning shots at U.S. Navy ships near the strait. A commercial South Korean vessel was also targeted yesterday. The president was very unhappy about that and was pushing South Korea to get involved in this effort to reopen the strait, something we've heard from him before, trying to get other countries involved. But for now, it's the United States that's leading this charge.
Yeah, 2 ships getting through is nothing considered of what it was when it was open. So while a stray shipper there might get through, it's virtually closed.
Yeah, I mean, there's 1,600 stranded commercial ships, according to our estimates right now. So it's closed effectively. And I think it's always important to remind people it was not closed before the war started.
Yeah. Hey, random rogue question, Karen Travers. At some point, he was supposed to meet with the China. Is that officially off? It was delayed. Is that officially off now?
It's scheduled for next week. No, that's next week on the schedule that the White House had laid out. So yeah.
All right. So hang tight for that. All right, Karen Travers, ABC News. Glad you got some sleep over the weekend. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, too.
Karen Travers, ABC News here with the latest 640, Big 550 KTRS. Bowen Dental Care. You need teeth whitening, Invisalign for the kids or for yourself. Maybe you have a root canal. Maybe you have some wisdom teeth that need to be pulled. How about just a plain old, good old teeth cleaning? You take care of your teeth will take care of you. All of that can be done at Dr. Bowen. And implants. You crack down on some hard candy. And the tooth cracks, you got some issues there. That's a problem. That's happened to me. Also, what about dentures? All of that could be a candidate for implants. And you hear a lot about implants. A lot of the corporate dentists talk about implants. You take your chances with the corporate dentists. But Bowen, he's well respected and well trusted. So he's your St. Louis go-to dentist for implants. Other dentists transfer and refer their patients to Dr. Bowen because a lot of dentists don't even want to go down that implant path. But Dr. Bowen, he's done the extra legwork, the continuing education. He is an expert and been doing it for years. Well respected, well trusted. So traditional dentistry, yes. Implants, absolutely. Bowen. 2 locations, Lee May Ferry Road and Dunn Road in North County. 2 locations, 1 great dentist. Bowen, or simply securedentures.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
At Target, finding something for every kind of mom and every side of mom just got easier. Does she love fashion? Take 20% off select women's clothing and accessories and find a dress she'll love to wear. Is she into the outdoors? Freshen up her favorite spot with up to 40% off planters, pillows, and poofs. Or keep it classic, fresh tulips for just $12 and a Dossier fragrance trio for $32. Whatever mom is into, we've got it. Celebrate mom her way, only at Target. Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Jacob.
And I'm Beth Jacob. We're the owners of Jacob Showers and Baths.
We specialize in helping seniors age in place with bath and shower designs that are both safe and aesthetically pleasing. We can replace your current tub with a low-threshold walk-in shower, add grab bars and seats, and the shower floor is a non-slick surface. Come visit our showrooms in Fenton and Fairview Heights.
Mention the McGraw Special or select the McGraw Show from our drop-down menu online. Our phone number is 800-222-6676 or visit us online at jacobbaths.com.
How would you like your vehicle serviced at your own home or office? Our new Mobile Service Plus, available exclusively from St. Paul Cadillac, can do just that. Hi, this is Joe Clemens. Simply give us a call or go to our website and get a unit dispatched right to your doorstep. This is a game changer for customer service, and we are so happy to offer it to you. Everything from oil changes, belts, new tires, tire rotation, recalls, key fobs, brake pads and rotors, EV charge, battery replacement, air conditioning service, and so much more. St. Paul's Mobile Service Plus will come to you. Call our mobile dispatch at 636-931-0055. That's 636-931-0055. Or go to our website at stpaulcadillac.com and set up an appointment. It's that simple. Get door-to-door service with St. Paul's new Mobile Service Plus. Nothing could be easier. Set up your appointment today. That's Mobile Service Plus exclusively from St. Paul Cadillac at the Herculaneum Auto Mall exit.
Your St. Louis Battlehawks match up on Friday, May 8th against the Columbus Aviators. Plus, the greatest show on turf will be honored at halftime with Dick Vermeil, Marshall Folk, Mike Jones, and more. That's Friday, May 8th. The Battlehawks and the greatest show on turf. Get your tickets now at UFLBattlehawks.com.
The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis.
Captain Paul, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, they are still working to clear a two-car crash on 44 West past Arsenal, blocking the two right lanes, but it's not impacting traffic. Estimated clearance time is 7:05. It looks like there's a stalled car on 270 North at Doherty Ferry. It's causing a slight slowdown. 55 North is stop and go at times at Bayless, and 255 South is shut down at Illinois 162 in Pontoon Beach for what IDOT is calling an ISP event. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
Keep that umbrella at your side all day long today. It won't continuously rain, but there will be periods of some showers and thunderstorms under cloudy skies. Much cooler today, too. We hit 80 yesterday. Today, we drop into the mid-50s and just kind of stick there through the afternoon. Clouds tonight in the forecast with some scattered showers, 46 for a cool Wednesday morning low, and then maybe a spot shower or two Wednesday morning, but the rest of Wednesday looks dry, 59 for the high on Wednesday under mostly cloudy skies. Looking dry Thursday. Our next chance of rain rolls in Friday afternoon into Friday night. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
Mother's Day is this Sunday, and if you're looking for the perfect gift, head to one of the only facial St. Louis area locations to pick up the Mother's Day Signature Facial Gift Box. It is so great. It's the perfect way to celebrate the moms in your life, and it's a gift from a local company created by St. Louis women and headquartered right here in St. Louis. And May is Small Business Month. Every gift box is an investment in joy. Each Mother's Day gift box includes a gift card for one 60-minute 11-step signature facial plus complimentary self-care items, all packaged in the Only Facial's unmistakable pink gift box. I've had one before. There's a lot of cool stuff. A pillowcase, umbrellas, stuff like that. It's all pink and it's great. Show your mom you care by giving the gift of time for her just to relax and emerge refreshed with glowing skin. Also, no pressure about upsells or products because the team is focused on the best facial treatment experience for her. And no worries about the tip because it's already included. The Only Facial. Mother's Day gift, Mother's Day Sunday. It's the perfect gift. The Only Facial. Or you can go online and get your gift card there, theonlyfacial.com. The Only Facial.
Stan Musial. He missed a season in his prime to serve his country in the Navy.
Honor a legend on Saturday, May 16th when the Cardinals face the Kansas City Royals. Fans can secure a Stan Musial military bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola and Deerbirds. This patriotic collectible celebrates Stan's Hall of Fame career and his service to our country. a true symbol of character on and off the field. A tribute worth displaying and remembering. Don't miss it. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Paging all nurses and healthcare heroes, this night is for you. Join the Cardinals for Nurses Appreciation on Wednesday, May 20th and Thursday, May 21st at Busch Stadium. With a special theme ticket, you'll receive a healthcare-inspired Cardinal sweatshirt plus a coupon for a complimentary drink. It's our way of saying thank you for all that you do in our community. Don't miss the special theme at the ballpark. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
Stay connected with the Big 550 KTRS, streaming 24/7 online at KTRS.com or on the KTRS app.
Powered by JBL Financial.
Stream Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
From planning to planting, growing to harvesting, FS is with you every step of the way. Our team has the latest seed genetics, field-tested hybrids, proven chemistries, plant performance products, and premium fuels and lubricants to help you maximize yield and minimize downtime. Whatever you need, whenever you need it, FS is your trusted business partner. Visit fscooperatives.com to learn how we can support your farming operation from start to finish.
Hey, St. Louis, temperatures are rising, and if your AC isn't blowing cold enough, trust the experts at AAA Home Services. For 56 years, they've been fixing it right the first time. Our expert technicians are qualified to work on any system with any issue. We can even perform your annual maintenance on your air conditioner before it gets too hot. And if you need an estimate on a new system, we can do that too. For 56 years, St. Louis has trusted AAA for heating and cooling, electrical, plumbing, and appliance repair needs. Call 636-397-3200. Online at AAASTL.com. Call AAA. We're on our way.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
To show our appreciation for everything military service members do for our country, Auto House BMW offers up to $5,000 toward a new BMW purchase for veterans, active military, military families, and first responders. During the Power the Mission sales event, everyone enjoys rates starting at 1.99% APR, great lease and purchase credits, and we'll donate $50 for every purchase to Team Red, White, and Blue, an organization supporting veterans. We're proud to be part of this mission and hope you'll join us at Auto House BMW.
Tune in Mondays to the Frank and Jill Show for Success St. Louis Style as they feature a St. Louis in making a difference in our community. Brought to you by the St. Louis Chess Club.
Building champions in the classroom and the community. Online at stlouischessclub.org.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, how do you know Karen slept well over the weekend? I'm assuming, I was assuming facts, not in evidence. But she had a crazy week last week where she sat next to the president when the shooting occurred at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and she had the crazy week all week. I'm assuming she got some sleep over the weekend. So,
They just assuming. McGraw, how do you know?
how do I know? I mean, I was just assuming facts that were not in evidence.
And we do talk to her before we go on the air.
I don't know, but I didn't know she got some sleep over the weekend. So there you go. I apologize to insinuate anything other
How
than.
dare you assume that she
I was
got
just
sleep.
trying to be pleasant. I was just trying to be pleasant. That's all. And you people.
You people?
So Steve Savard comes into the studio yesterday and says, wow, your text line's a lot different than our text line.
Yeah, he did.
I was like, hey, Steve. He goes, yeah, hey, no. And he goes, your text line's a lot different than our text line. We get, what was the name of that recipe you were talking about? And you get death threats.
Death threats.
Because he filled in for you once.
Oh, was it text line all the rage or something?
He was like, these are some interesting.
Is that why he never wants to fill in again?
Oh,
The text line scared. The morning show text line scared.
I don't have to read these, do I? No. You do
Everyone.
You have to have a skin like an alligator to sit in this chair. That's for sure. Speaking of that, you know what we did over the weekend? Let me give a shout out to these guys. Has anybody ever been to Big Joel Safari?
So you went back to Big.
Oh my goodness, Big Joel
Yay.
Safari is the best.
I was waiting for the return.
We got up Sunday morning and it was like, do you want to go to the zoo? And Emerson and I said, you know what I'm thinking? And Emerson said, can we go to Big Joel Safari? So we got in the car and we drove out to Big Joel Safari. It's out on, I don't know where it is exactly. I can drive there. I can't get there. Take Highway N all the way out, and there's that Cedar Cellars Lodge or something out there. It's kind of close to Innsbruck. And it's a very, very, you just sort of stumble across it, really, when you're driving up there. And you pull into the parking lot. It's a very nice parking lot. And I don't know who Big Joel is, but it's half petting zoo, half regular zoo, half safari. And when you get out, you go through the little house and you buy your entrance in, and then they give you a big old cup of seed so you can feed the animals, and then they also sell you popsicle sticks with bird seed on them. Okay, so you walk in and they've got, you name the animals, they've got them. They've got everything from emus to llamas to deer to bighorn steer, and they have this birdhouse where you walk into the birdhouse with this popsicle stick full of bird seed, and the birds surround the stick. I mean, it's a feeding frenzy on the stick. And Emerson was just giggling. She was laughing so hard. It was really very sweet. We walked all the way around, and they've got big, giant camels. So Emerson says, what do you call a camel with 3 humps? I don't know. Pregnant.
Smart.
Nice.
I was like, where'd you hear that? Zootopia. It's like, you little punk. Zebras. I mean, they got ostriches in the back. I mean, this thing is fantastic. And then you come across the alligator pond. They've got alligators at Big Joel Safari, and they got 3 of them, and they're lying there half in the water, half out of the water, and they look like they're a giant branch. It's amazing how they camouflage. Because I was looking at the 2. And then for like a good 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, wait, there's the third one over there. I mean, they're dead still. Dead still. And then they slowly sort of, fall into the water, and then they slowly swim across the little pond there.
You ever wonder, are they like tranquilized or something so they don't attack?
You can't even see them breathing. It's like their chest isn't even breathing. That's how still they are. They got peacocks, and I mean, it is a great little place. They got a little koi pond. You can feed the fish. You're taking the feed, and you're feeding the big old camel and the big old zebras and the deer, and it's fantastic. Big Joel Safari has got it going on. It is a great, cool place. And we took our nice little country ride right into the country. Look at all the nice houses and the big barns and everything. I'm telling you, man, if you got a little kid or the kid inside you, Big Joel Safari, you don't hear much about it, but it's out. It's on
Highway M.
Highway M. Okay, yeah.
In Wright City.
In Wright City, yeah. It's a nice little drive. I don't like to go 70 just because I like to do a little. It's an extra 5 minutes or whatever through the country roads. But it's a nice little Sunday drive. We were out there for a good 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It was fantastic.
It also says on their website, your GPS may not be totally accurate. Please click below for directions.
It is great. I highly, highly recommend Big Joel Safari. My grandson loves it. He goes at least once a month. It's only for little kids or you think 10 years old who would still enjoy it. I don't know. Parents enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know if I'd go every day if I was alone, if I was by myself. But now that the little kids are there, the little kids love it because they're up close and personal with the animals. It's kind of fun. So there you go. if you're looking for something to do. Big Joel's Safari. 6:57 here, Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul Kopsky in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Take it away.
McGraw, there's a stalled vehicle on 270 North at Doherty Ferry blocking the left lane with traffic congested back to 44. We have an accident on 70 West at 141. 55 North is stop and go at times at Bayless and remains slow until you reach Carondelet. And 255 South is open again at Illinois 162 in Pontoon Beach after being closed for an ISP event. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or have the Rack House cater your next event with boxed lunches or buffets to accommodate groups of 10 to 200 people. The Rack House, featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
What's an ISP event?
You know, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I Googled it, and I didn't get a good answer.
What? Google failed you? It's an outrage.
I think it did.
All right. We'll look out what an ISP event is.
All right.
Found it.
Yes, what is an ISP event?
Illinois State Police.
Oh.
Oh.
All right. Good to know.
Makes sense.
All right. There we go. Thank you, Captain Paul.
Thank you.
All right. Weather-wise, for the next couple of days, we got some rain in the forecast today. Cloudy, periods of rain, colder, high. It's about as warm as it's going to be all day long right about now. 100% chance of rain, about a half an inch of rain is going to fall. Overnight tonight, more rain is going to fall. We've got cloudy skies, near 45 degrees overnight. Tomorrow, clearing out, still cloudy, but a high of 63 tomorrow. Let's talk Gelmish. You're going to be 55 today, and you're going to be 80s by Saturday. At some point, you're going to have your air conditioner going, and then you're going to have your furnace going on. Gelmish & Sons is the first name when it comes to heating and cooling. Family run since 1950. Sean Thornton was at the house the other day fixing something that broke. He's worked there for 41 years. It is a company that is the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. So if you ever have a heating and cooling issue, the name to remember, a St. Louis company for 76 years, Gelmish. They're the ones who will see you through thick and through thin. 314-993-1110, Gelmish, or gelmishandsons.com.
Chips? Check. Salsa? Check. We're celebrating Cinco de Mayo right along with you this domingo. The Big 550 KTRS St. Louis. Hey, can you pass the guac?
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth and the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Cain, are expected to speak this hour and could provide some answers about the state of the ceasefire. It's after the U.S. and Iran traded shots Monday in and around the Strait of Hormuz. ABC's Chief Global Affairs anchor Martha Raddatz has more.
Iranian state media claiming to show the Iranian military firing warning shots at U.S. Navy ships near the strait. The head of Central Command, Admiral Brad Cooper, telling reporters the U.S. was able to fend off the attacks, sinking 6 Iranian small military boats.
Gas prices are more than $1.50 higher in the U.S. on average than before the war began, and Gas Buddy petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan says at this rate, those prices could hit $4.75 a gallon by Memorial Day and go up from there.
If the strait remains closed, into the month of June, I think by July 4, we'll be at all-time record highs.
A cruise ship remains anchored off the west coast of Africa, where health experts are trying to trace the source of a viral infection that has killed several people on board.
It's thought that the Dutch husband and wife, who both died of hantavirus infections, brought the illness on board with them. Still, says Maria Van Kerkhove of the World Health Organization,
passengers have been asked to remain in their cabins while disinfection and other public health measures are carried out.
The death of a German tourist aboard the same ship has not been firmly linked to hantavirus. The MV Hondius left Argentina in early April for a month-long cruise through the South Atlantic. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Health officials say there's a low threat to the public. Big day in politics. Primary elections today in several states, including Indiana, where some Republican state senators are facing challenges backed by President Trump because they did not support his redistricting plan. Vice President J.D. Vance will be in Iowa to support Congressman Zach Nunn. He'll also vote in his home state, Ohio. You're listening to ABC News.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show, this Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Mike Lippert here for Lisi Lumber, a family-owned company that's been serving the area since 1872. You've heard McGraw mention our knowledgeable staff, excellent customer service, and the best of woods. We're now producing and delivering custom prefabricated trellises, pavilions, and pergolas. Union-made, union-delivered. Homeowners and do-it-yourselfers are going to love these. Got an idea? Send a sketch and some dimensions and we'll take care of the rest. For the best of woods and prefabricated outdoor dreams, call Lisi Lumber 234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
.52 degrees at 7:03. Here's what's happening now. The man convicted of killing a Herman police officer and seriously injuring another officer is seeking a new trial. A hearing is planned later this afternoon on that motion for Kenneth Simpson. Earlier this year, Simpson was sentenced to death for the 2023 shooting that claimed the life of Officer Adam Sullentrup and seriously injured Sergeant Mason Griffith. The St. Charles City Council will hold a public hearing tonight on a proposal that would ban large-scale data centers within city limits. The public hearing is scheduled for 7 p.m. at St. Charles City Hall. 2 area members of Congress are proposing bipartisan legislation to address the ongoing mail delivery issues in the St. Louis region. Democrat Wesley Bell and Republican Ann Wagner announced the St. Louis Postal Accountability and Reform Act on Monday. If approved, the bill would require the U.S. Postal Service to track and report delivery performance, response to delays, and employee vacancy rates. The proposal has the backing of local members of the National Association of Letter Carriers, who say management need to be held accountable for everything they're doing or not doing. A Shriners Children's St. Louis researcher has been awarded a $3.1 million grant to support research on osteogenesis imperfecta in the womb.
Dr. Aaron Osterreich was awarded the grant from the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development. The money will fund research to strengthen the bones of children born with OI. Approximately 50,000 people in the United States are afflicted with OI, an inherited condition that causes bones to be extremely fragile and prone to fracture. Over the next 5 years, Dr. Osterreich will collaborate with Drs. Laura Schultz and Charlotte Phillips at the Washington University, University of Missouri, and Shriners Children's St. Louis campuses. They are aiming to develop a prenatal drug therapy that strengthens bone formation before birth, potentially improving outcomes for the mother and child. David Solomon, KTRS News.
A Chesterfield music studio is facing a new lawsuit alleging more than $840,000 in unpaid construction work on a build out for a $150 million project. Earth City-based Charles E. Jarrell Contracting Companies claims that Gateway Studios and Production Services owes it for unpaid work performed under the previous builder, Arco Construction. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. 53 degrees. Time now is 7:05. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Okay, Rose, coming up this hour, Stephen Portnoy is going to be joining us. There was a bit of an altercation on the Washington Monument and the mall yesterday. Stephen Portnoy's got that story. Peter Harlambus has the latest on Rudy Giuliani, who remains hospitalized and in critical condition with pneumonia. And then Mike Dubusky's got the story on GameStop trying to buy eBay. How about that? And then Antonio French is going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour. Antonio French in the Post-Dispatch wrote a really interesting op-ed piece the other day. And we're going to talk to him about it in the 9 o'clock hour, or in the 8 o'clock hour when he joins us. And the idea was that the headline was something like, "We have an idea. No, seriously, don't yell at us." That was the headline of the op-ed piece. And the editorial board wrote an opinion piece saying that the city of St. Louis needs people to move there. And what if we pay them to move to downtown St. Louis. And they go on to talk about how this was done in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they paid people $10,000 to move to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And what they found was that 10 years later, it was a resounding success, that people ended up staying. They ended up getting married and having families and starting businesses. And it was a really interesting social experiment. And so they said, look, obviously a lot of, and I'm not advocating for this, I'm just trying to give you a sense of what was in the op-ed piece. And it was really kind of interesting, something at least to sort of chew on. But if you want people to move to St. Louis to sort of sow those seeds, to get those seeds going, then why not pay somebody $10,000? They did it, right, years ago with move out to the Midwest and we'll give you a plot of land and a plow, right, 40 acres and a plow. And the Sooners, right, the Oklahoma Sooners, they came out and staked their claim and gave them free land to come on out and populate the West and all that type of stuff. I don't know. It's at least worth exploring. Give somebody $10,000 to move to the city of St. Louis.
Yeah, I think, but to me, though, to get people to stay, right, to get people to set up shop here, it's the schooling is the issue. Not the only issue, but right? People, it's like they'll stay here, then they have kids, and then they move because they don't want to send their kids to St. Louis public schools.
Right, but there's 1/3 of the population that's either, or 2/3 of the population that's either doesn't have kids or is empty nesters.
True.
And so,
or send them to parochial schools.
Yeah, but like empty nesters usually might not want to move downtown proper.
Actually, no. A lot of empty nesters like to move downtown. They get rid of the yard and right? They buy a nice condo and they have this sort of city living where everything's real close knit and everything. They're finding a lot of people, not a lot, but I mean, there's a number of empty nesters who decide to move downtown to be where, quote unquote, the action is. You go to a ball game, you go to a hockey game, you go to the Fox, you go here, you go there, nice little restaurant. So they're seeing, actually, believe it or not, a number of people sort of move downtown who are empty nesters. It's not like they're not headed straight to the Villages and or Delmar Gardens. It was actually a really interesting article. Now, someone's got to come up with the money to pay them. I don't think they're necessarily thinking, well, they did float this idea. How about taking some of the Rams money and pay people with the Rams money to move downtown? But some giant local nonprofit, agency or organization or grants or something, take $1 million and,
do they still, like the art lofts, do those still a thing? Like where they...
Oh, they're still a thing.
Lofts that are, you can only make so much or, it's for starving artists kind of a thing.
Yeah, they got, they have all those.
Right? Like
they
stuff
got a whole
like
bunch
that
of stuff like that.
was interesting. Or free scooters per purchase of a loft downtown.
In 2018, Tulsa, Oklahoma launched its Tulsa Remote program offering $10,000 grants from the George Kaiser Family Foundation to remote workers from outside the state to relocate into the city. Those who apply must meet specific conditions and agree to remain in Tulsa for a year. How did it work out? As of this year, which is now, 8 years later, the program has drawn more than 4,000 new residents to Tulsa. The $50 million investment to date has generated $878 million in direct employment income, according to the data from the program's 2025 annual report. The income that spins off into local tax revenue, support for local businesses, and everything else that comes with increased working population. Now, 4,000 people doesn't seem like a lot, but 4,000 people is better than gaining 4,000 people is better than losing 4,000 people.
True.
Really very interesting. And then I wanted to say this yesterday, and then we got busy and didn't, but this stabbing that happened inside Busch Stadium, long after the game, in the middle of the night, because apparently 2 third-party vendors got into a beef over something. Somebody put the pallet of napkins next where they wanted to put the pallet of forks, and they weren't happy. And so somebody lost their temper and took out a knife and apparently stabbed somebody. And poor old Mitch McCoy, former KTRSer, who is now the spokesperson for the St. Louis City Police, gets in front of the cameras and said, look, this could happen anywhere, at any place, anytime. This is not indicative of crime downtown or the ballpark not being safe. And the vitriol on the text line was overwhelming. What do you mean it could happen anywhere? It could happen anywhere. Two people get into a beef, somebody takes out a knife and shoots them or stabs them. It could happen anywhere. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with the safety or the not safetiness of downtown. The Cardinals are going to get hung. Oh, it's not a safe place to go. Did you see somebody got stabbed at Busch Stadium? Okay, yes, but that's kind of disingenuous. So many haters out there. Everybody loves to hate on St. Louis. I don't understand it. That you live in this region, and there's a portion of the region that hates a portion of the region. Why would you want to make downtown St. Louis look bad? It's already doing well enough on its own. You don't need to pile on with stories that don't make it look bad, but yet try to make it look bad. So anyway,
It's like the city versus county. Because I feel like the people who are saying this are all county people who just detest the city of St. Louis.
I don't know why.
Ran from it.
It's crazy, right? It's this weird thing. I used to live in the city, but now I hate it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so weird. It's such a weird feeling. I don't go downtown. I hate it. Okay. Okay. Good luck, Okay. I mean, I've never hated. I hate a place. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but I just felt bad for everybody involved with that because it was literally, it could happen anywhere at any time.
And it does happen anywhere.
And it had nothing to do with anything other than two people had a beef. Yeah. It just happened to be at Busch Stadium at 3 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. So anyway, all right. I'm off my soapbox. 67 soon. And retiring, single male living in suburbia. I would move downtown if I could find the right housing at the right cost. Well, there's plenty of good housing at plenty of the right cost. So I don't know what you're looking for, but they got plenty of lofts downtown ready to go for you. So take a second look. 7:14 here at Big 550 KTRS. What event was Carl at last night at the Enterprise Center? Why are you eating popcorn? You went to go see the new Star Wars movie.
I saw the first 30 minutes of the new Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. And I got a poster for myself and for Max on movies.
All right, we'll talk more about that as we can later on in the show when we have more time. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, they've cleared a stalled vehicle on 270 north at Doherty Ferry, but traffic is still heavy there. An accident on 70 west at 141 has been moved off to the shoulder. 55 north is running slow at Bayless, and the signals are on flash at Gravois and Laclede Station. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
The rain gear is a requirement today. We're looking at periods of rain and thunderstorms under cloudy skies. It won't rain all day, but there's going to be on and off showers and a few rumbles throughout the course of the day. It's a cooler one, too. Temperatures drop into the mid-50s and then basically hold there into the afternoon. Clouds tonight, some scattered showers down to 46 for a cool Wednesday morning low. And then after a spot shower or two Wednesday morning, the rest of tomorrow looks dry. 59, though, still cool for the high tomorrow under mostly cloudy skies. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
They call it the sandwich generation for a reason. You got the kids and you got the adults. And the adults you love and they're aging in place, but they call you every 6 minutes about something. How about a concierge service, right? That'd be a great idea. You're in luck. There's a new one. Senior Concierge is a subscription-style membership dedicated to helping you and your parents stay connected while living at home. It just costs just $79 a month, and it guarantees you 30 minutes of personalized concierge service. What does that mean? Dinner reservations, entertainment tickets, travel arrangements, whether it's housekeeping or other regular tasks. errands, home repairs. Every single service provider is chosen for reliability, safety, and quality. Everything from groceries to errands to home repair and everything else. Senior Concierge is a subscription-style membership. Confidence, convenience, and connection begins right here at Senior Concierge. SeniorCSTL.com. That's SeniorCSTL.com, or call 314-270-7800 or SeniorCSTL.com.
It's the Big Sports Show with Sports Director Brendan Lisi. Weeknights 7 to 9 on the Talk of St. Louis. The Big 550. KTRS.
I've been asked to say a word about Allen Roofing. That's not fair. I can't say it in a word. If they just did roofs, I probably could. I would say roofs. But they can do siding. They could replace it. They could put leaf guards on. They could reattach it like they had to do for me, where my gutter kind of came away from the house. Siding issues, they carry James Hardy, the very best. They can fix that too. Basically, if it's something you could see from the outside of your home or your office, they can fix it, improve it, or replace it. Look, it's probably the biggest investment you're ever going to make. Protect it. Absolutely. And nobody does it better than Allen Roofing. Check out all the reviews online. Everybody else seems to know. I shouldn't have to tell you these things. For all of your roofing needs and so much more, Allen Roofing. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, Heidi here from my friends at Premier U. Spring is right around the corner, and this is your moment. The season of fresh starts now. Longer days, more energy. At Premier U, they don't guess, they personalize. Whether it's metabolic testing, hormone optimization, weight management, or IV support, they build a plan around you. If you've been saying I'll start soon, this is soon. Spring forward with clarity, confidence, and a strategy that works. Check out PremierUMed.com or call them today because this is your season.
McGraw, live in the morning on KTRS.
$7:20 here, Big 550 KTRS. What? Just shortly after a week after the White House Correspondents' shooting, there was another shooting incident in Washington, D.C. Stephen Portnoy, what happened on the Washington Mall?
It was a beautiful spring day yesterday, high around 80 degrees, when shots rang out on the National Mall, about 3/4 of a mile south of the White House, but within view of the White House, right near the Washington Monument. It involved Secret Service police officers, and ultimately the suspect was believed or reported to be firing at police. Police fired back at him, striking him. A juvenile was grazed by a bullet. And so you have all this happening in the middle of the afternoon in a high tourist, high traffic area, which is heavily policed. The police officers apparently recognized that this man was carrying a firearm. We don't know if it was a pistol or a rifle. We do know that police encountered the man or tried to stop him. He ran and then started firing. We don't have any information as to what brought him to Washington, D.C. There's a report he's from Texas, or at least had a Texas driver's license. And so obviously there may be more to the story, but for now we don't have it. Ultimately, one of the questions will be, did he have some sort of broader motivation? The Secret Service tells us that the vice president's motorcade had been traveling in that area a few minutes before the incident. That could be a coincidence.
What was the Secret Service doing at the mall? Were they there for some other reason?
You know, Washington, D.C. has a variety of different police agencies, as you know. It involves the Secret Service. Technically, that would be land that would otherwise be patrolled by the U.S. Park Police. But because it's in view of the White House, and frankly, they try to surveil for threats, it doesn't surprise me that the Secret Service was involved in this. Also, we're told is it was plainclothes Secret Service officers. So as part of the layers of security, they have people who don't look like Secret Service officers there. Now, I don't mean Secret Service agents. There's a key difference here. And there's the agents, the special agents, who protect the president and other protectees. And then there are the officers. They wear uniforms. They look like police officers. As a unit of that, you have plainclothes officers as well. So it was that unit that saw this man, that encountered him, and they do look around just to see threats, and they seem to identify one yesterday. It is against the law, strictly against the law in Washington, D.C., unless you're a resident of the city with a firearms license. You cannot have a gun. And this man was not a resident of D.C., and he had a gun.
Yeah, that was my next question. How do they know he wasn't a resident? Did they go up and ask him? It seems like there was an altercation. The guy was walking down the street minding his own business, and the police came up to him.
Well, that's true. But you have the fact that he started, firing. That's obviously suspicious.
But I thought they started chasing him, and then he started firing.
Well, he ran off on foot, and they tried to chase after him, and then he started firing. That's true.
Okay, got it.
As it's been described to us.
Yeah. He's in custody now, I'm assuming.
He is being hospitalized and ultimately will be charged. We don't know exactly with what.
Interesting. Stephen Portnoy. But people are on short fuses anyway because of the shooting from last week with the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So this is now 2 in the last, 8 days or so. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News. Thanks, Stephen.
You bet.
You got it. 724 here, Big 550 KTRS. Right, that was my next question, because oftentimes people have open carry, right? You're allowed to openly carry a gun while walking down the street. So what's the offense, right? Those are the laws and rules of the road. You are allowed to carry a gun. And there are people who are allowed to carry, machine guns or AK-47s or whatever, right? That's the rules of the road. All right, stay right there. Peter Harlambu is going to join us in about 8 minutes or so and talk about Rudy Giuliani remains hospitalized and in critical condition with pneumonia. Also, Mike Dubusky is going to join us at the top of the hour. GameStop is trying to buy eBay. And there's new reporting, studies showing that smartphone bans in schools, mixed results. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. First of all, it's way too early to tell, one. Second of all, you're going to tell me that a bunch of 10-year-olds without phones at schools is not as good as just as equally as good or bad as a bunch of 10-year-olds with phones at school on the playground?
Sounds like the T-Mobile lobbyists got a hold of that research project.
I want to know who funded this survey. That's a very good question, Rose Dalton. So we got all that going on for ourselves. So has anybody seen that? What is that on Long Road out there in Chesterfield? That music studio that they built right next to Spirit Airport.
Yes.
You seen that thing? It took them a long time to finish, but it looks like, I guess, they're finally finished. And it is supposed to be a staging ground for
like
concerts,
roadies to practice.
Right. So Taylor Swift's getting ready to go on the road, and she's got to block and stage her stage show. Well, where do you go? They just built this place out in Chesterfield that is as big as a stage. So you can get your pyrotechnics down, you can get your harnesses down, you can get your flying trapeze down.
You get the lighting done correctly.
You get the lighting done correctly, so everything's staged. And the semis come in, and they unload all their stuff. They can pack it all up. And then because there's such access to all the highways, north, south, east, and west, the company that started it said, hey, this is a great place to we can go anywhere. If we start our concerts in Omaha, we can drive to Omaha. If our concerts start in Nashville, we can get down to Nashville. So they like the sort of middle of the America aspect to this.
And the artists can fly right into Spirit right there.
The artists fly right in, and they're planning on building a hotel out there. So you might see Billy Joel hanging out at Chesterfield Mall while he's waiting on lunch. You might see Taylor Swift hanging out there, going through the outlet mall because she's waiting for the text to set up the next stage. So there you go. However, there is one small problem to this perfectly laid out plan. Apparently, there is a lawsuit alleging that they forgot to pay the construction company to build it.
Oops.
To the tune of $840,000. Yeah. Yeah. The $150 million project was first pitched in 2021. Gateway Studios says it is the largest touring rehearsal and production studio in the country. Gateway CEO Trey Kerr did not respond for a request for comment. However, the contracting company alleges in a lawsuit that filed last week that the Gateway Services and Production Services owes for unpaid work, most of it performed under the project's previous builder, Arco Construction, to the tune of $840,000 in unpaid bills.
So Arco is the one that didn't pay, but
Yeah,
yet
so
Charles E. Jarrell Contracting Company.
Arco apparently started it and then stopped it because they weren't getting paid. This other company picked it up and said, I don't know how it all works out, but somebody owes somebody according to the lawsuit, somebody owes somebody $840,000 for unpaid construction work.
It has started and stopped a couple times.
And this so this would be Gateway Studios is the ones that owes.
Gateway Studios is the one who brought it to town. Yeah, interesting. Yes, interesting.
So I mean, is it still happening, or?
I think it's almost finished.
I see cars in the parking lot every time I drive by. They did get, we should say this, they did get quite a bit of tax incentives for this. They got some tax abatements, a 10-year tax abatement worth $12 million in exchange for creating 100 jobs. So there you go. St. Louis County Council last year amended its incentive agreement, giving it a 10-year tax abatement.
Yeah, but is that null and void if you don't pay your? You know what I mean? Like, or can they use that tax abatement to pay the?
You have to read the fine print. Clearly, they needed a bigger incentive. They need an incentive of about $840,000 more dollars. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. Not a good start to a partnership.
Rolling Stones aren't here yet.
Yeah, I mean it's from all intents and purposes, it looks like it's finished. Looks really nice. It's a big, huge block buildings that.
But does that kind of make you nervous if, like, the construction company did not get paid all the money it was owed? The people that are building the thing,
yes,
you're like, so.
Yes. Yes, it would be a little concerning. 7:30 here, Big 550 KTRS, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. We have a stalled vehicle on 270 north past 44 blocking the right lane and causing congestion all the way back to I-55. An accident on 70 west at 141 has been moved to the shoulder. 55 north is crawling at Bayless, but it starts to open up at Weber and Carondelet. And the signals are on flash at Gravois and Laclede Station. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Weather for the next couple of days. We got rain in the forecast. Some of it could be severe. Some of it could be heavy, maybe hail, depending. And rain about a quarter of an inch. 55 degrees with plenty of rain today. Overnight tonight, 45 is going to be the low with plenty of rain overnight tonight. Tomorrow we start to dry out. High of 63 tomorrow. It's 50 right now. We're dropping. It's 50 degrees right now. It's 7:31. Back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
This newscast is brought to you by Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man. The U.S. military says it's launched another strike on a boat accused of ferrying drugs in the Caribbean Sea. The attack on Monday killed 2 people. Vice President J.D. Vance will visit Iowa today, marking his first visit since taking office to the state where Republicans in less than 2 years will cast the first votes to pick their party's next presidential nominee. Vance, who is seen as one of the GOP's strongest potential candidates for president in 2028, is making the trip to campaign on behalf of Republican Representative Zach Nunn, who faces a competitive race to keep his Des Moines area seat in the November midterms. In local headlines, a plan for a data center at the former Emerson campus in Ferguson is not moving forward. Last night, the Ferguson Council halted the project with a tie vote of 3-3. And the Illinois Housing Development Authority is asking for public input to help guide the future of housing. Residents can provide feedback online at illhousingblueprint.org. Are you or a family member turning 65, and are you happy with your current health plan? For the right plan, call the Medicare man, Ryan Raphael, at 314-368-6808. 53 degrees. Time now is 7:32. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
All right, let's talk Lisi lumber, that pergola, that pavilion, that trellis. How about it's designed specifically for your backyard? That could be expensive. However, not if you go to Lisi Lumber, because Lisi Lumber is your go-to for a custom-built pergola, pavilion, and trellis. Plus, it's going to save you all sorts of money. Here's what you do. So you figure out where you want the trellis or the pavilion or the pergola, as they like to say, and you take a measurement. And it's endless, the possibilities. Maybe it's over a patio, maybe it's over a walkway, maybe it's an entrance into a walkway, an entrance into a garden, who knows, right? So you take the measurements you want, and then you go and you design it. They have different styles and designs, and then you hand it off to Lisi Lumber, and they'll build it for you, and they'll erect it on site in their warehouse. Once it's perfect, then they'll disassemble it and pack it up and drop it off to your home site. You have a custom-built pergola, pavilion, or trellis at a fraction of the cost of a personalized trellis, because they've done it all in the confines of their workhouse. Lisi Lumber. They've been doing this for, a long time, since 1872. They're known for having better materials, better pricing, better customer service. That's why they work with builders, contractors, and homeowners to get the materials you need to get the job done. Everything from the doghouse to the penthouse to the outhouse to now pergolas, pavilions, and trellises. Lisi Lumber, 618-234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
The St. Louis Chess Club is a newly expanded 30,000 square foot state-of-the-art chess center featuring world-class tournament playing halls, classrooms, library, and casual play spaces for everyone who loves the game.
But it's so much more than a place to play.
It's where champions are built on the board, in the classroom, and across the community, with a mission to bring the game to everyone from all levels, with membership starting at just $15 a month.
Discover the excitement, the challenge, and the community of chess at stlouischessclub.org.
McGraw Millhaven on KTRS.
We got word over the weekend that Rudy Giuliani was hospitalized. Peter Harlambu's ABC News investigative reporter. Peter, what do we know?
Yeah, at this point, Rudy Giuliani remains in critical condition. He's recovering from pneumonia in Florida. His spokesperson said at one point he had to be put on a ventilator, but at this point he's breathing on his own, though he does remain in that critical condition. Giuliani, of course, America's mayor by some definitions, and also someone who in recent years has been at times besieged by legal issues, both criminal and civil. At this point, the president wishing Rudy Giuliani well, and his spokesperson calling for people to pray for Giuliani's swift recovery.
So we've seen him the last couple of years. He got into, was it an accident? The last time we saw him, he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Last summer, he got in a car crash in New Hampshire. He suffered a fractured vertebrae. And that being said, he continued to make public appearances. For example, he continues to regularly host the live stream show, America's Mayor Live. Though he has kind of receded in a way from public influence, his radio show on WABC in New York was canceled due to his election claims, though he still was kind of a frequent person appearing in Florida, appearing in the president's life, and certainly still an influence in Republican circles.
He was disbarred, was he not?
Yeah, and in addition to that, he had to pay off millions of dollars in defamation payments. He ultimately owed two Georgia election workers $148 million. He ended up having to settle that for an undisclosed amount, but it did appear it was a sizable chunk of money. He was also criminally charged in two different states, Arizona and Georgia. The Georgia case has since been dismissed. The Arizona case is basically on its last legs.
Interesting. So he remains in critical condition with a pneumonia. What are the prospects? Are they worried that he might not make it?
You know, his spokesperson, his family are rallying. They say he seems to be in a good place to recover. Though the complications from basically he has restrictive airway disease. They say that's a complication stemming from his time at Ground Zero after 9/11. That has complicated this recovery. That is what has made the pneumonia in this case particularly difficult to recover from. And of course, Rudy's 81 years old, so he's not a particularly young guy. It's a serious illness to slowly recover from, though he is at this point breathing on his own in a hospital in Florida.
Peter Harlambous, ABC News. Good stuff, Peter. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
Yeah, no joke when you're 25, no less 85, and you're got a pneumonia. So that's the latest with Rudy Giuliani. We'll keep a good thought for Rudy Giuliani out there. 740 here, Big 550 KTRS. Closer to home, Reese Nichols. Reese Nichols is a real estate company here in St. Louis. And for the longest time, they were working under a different name. They were Reese Nichols in Kansas City, but they were a different name here in St. Louis. And somebody heard the show and said, well, you know, McGraw's right. That doesn't make any sense. Let's just have one name for the company. And so they decided to switch all the signs now to just Reese Nichols. So everybody is now Reese Nichols throughout the state of Missouri. Reese Nichols has been in the state for 125 years. And the only thing that changed was the logo and some of the signs. Same great trusted agents, the agents that have come to know St. Louis, that work with buyers and sellers, and they know about staging and negotiations and contracts and marketing and all of those types of things. Buying a house in 2026 is not easy. Selling a house in 2026 is not easy. You need the trusted advisors of Reese Nichols to help you navigate all of this. They are the largest brokerage here in the state of Missouri, now with one name, Reese Nichols. And oh, by the way, if you use Reese Nichols, a portion of your commission, of their commission, will go straight to local charities like the Ronald McDonald House. So Reese Nichols always been giving back to St. Louis, and all they've changed is their name, Reese Nichols, or ReeseNichols.com.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis to help improve my home when it matters most. It's not just Pella's high-quality windows and doors. It's the local experts who know the St. Louis area so well. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects or 0% no payments, no interest if paid in full within 24 months. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. 833-87-PELLA or Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Hallmark Cards presents Mother's Day at Walgreens. Celebrate every mother figure in your life with a Hallmark card at Walgreens. Show how much she means to you and how deeply she's loved. A Hallmark card is the perfect way to say thank you for all she does. Don't forget, Mother's Day is Sunday, May 10th. Visit Walgreens today to find the perfect Hallmark Mother's Day card and make her feel truly special. Mother's Day means Hallmark cards at Walgreens.
It's the season to support our St. Louis nonprofits, and we're shining a spotlight on Gateway Arch National Park's official nonprofit conservancy, Gateway Arch Park Foundation. They need your help to support their Journey Fund, an educational program that brings local students from under-resourced schools to experience their hometown national park and learn about St. Louis history, free of charge.
Since 2019, Gateway Arch Park Foundation has helped more than 11,000 students and teachers have this monumental experience at the Arch. Thank you for supporting this amazing work with a donation. Go to archpark.org/journeyfund to learn more.
Diana from Newstetter's Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
Stay connected with the Big 550 KTRS, streaming 24/7 online at KTRS.com or on the KTRS app. Powered by JBL Financial. Stream Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
To show our appreciation for everything military service members do for our country, Auto House BMW offers up to $5,000 toward a new BMW purchase for veterans, active military, military families, and first responders. During the Power the Mission sales event, everyone enjoys rates starting at 1.99% APR, great lease and purchase credits, and we'll donate $50 for every purchase to Team Red, White, and Blue, an organization supporting veterans. We're proud to be part of this mission and hope you'll join us at Auto House BMW.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
The Big 550.
KTRS, St. Louis.
St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center. Here once again is Captain Paul.
McGraw, there's a crash on 70 West past Union with the stop and go back up to Kings Highway. Estimated clearance time is 8:30. Close by, we have a crash on 70 West at Florissant Road. There's an accident on 70 West before 141 with an estimated clearance time of 7:45 this morning. 55 North is crawling at Bayless, but it starts to open up at Weber and Carondelet. There's a slowdown on 70 East at Bryan, and the signals are on flash at Gravois and Laclede Station. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
Keep that umbrella at your side all day long today. It won't continuously rain, but there will be periods of some showers and thunderstorms under cloudy skies. Much cooler today, too. We hit 80 yesterday. Today, we drop into the mid-50s and just kind of stick there through the afternoon. Clouds tonight in the forecast with some scattered showers. 46 for a cool Wednesday morning low. And then maybe a spot shower or two Wednesday morning, but the rest of Wednesday looks dry. 59 for the high on Wednesday under mostly cloudy skies. Looking dry Thursday. Our next chance of rain rolls in Friday afternoon into Friday night. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
Morelli tuck pointing is your go-to. If you've got anything brick or stone that needs to be fixed, Morelli, 3 generations serving the St. Louis metropolitan area. Their office is right across the street from St. Louis Closet Company there on Big Bend. Doesn't matter, though. You'll never go to the office. They go to you. They fix your house. They fix your walkways, chimneys, porches, foundations, anything brick or stone. They specialize in both residential and commercial, so don't worry. And their commitment to excellence, each and every customer, is their top priority. How do I know this? I've been their customer a couple of times, and it has been an overwhelming success. I was blown away by how a wonderful job they did. In fact, a couple of my friends have called them as well, and I got the reports back, same. People just couldn't believe how simple, easy, and effective it was at getting the job done and getting the job done right and on time, and the price is fantastic. So, tuck pointing is your go-to. 314-645-1387, Morelli, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Stan Musial, he missed a season in his prime to serve his country in the Navy.
Honor a legend on Saturday, May 16th when the Cardinals face the Kansas City Royals. Fans can secure a Stan Musial military bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola and Deerbirds. This patriotic collectible celebrates Stan's Hall of Fame career and his service to our country. A true symbol of character on and off the field. A tribute worth displaying and remembering. Don't miss it. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Some Sundays are made for the water. Sunday, May 17th, as the Cardinals take on the Kansas City Royals, make it a ballpark day too. That day, you can score a Cardinals boat tote presented by Coca-Cola and Walmart. A classic summer bag that fits right in from the dock to the dugout. It's ready for long weekends, sunny afternoons, and whatever plans you have next. Get tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. We are in our peak selling and buying season right now. I'm paying top dollar for pristine, low-mile cars and motorcycles, especially Corvettes, Porsches, sports cars, and luxury cars. I'll buy classics, too. Hop on our site and submit your vehicle. Downsizing, estate liquidation, we'll even buy entire collections. If you're in the St. Louis area, I'll come to you and inspect, make an offer on all your vehicles if they're in great condition. You can submit those through our site too, mastercarsinc.com. We are buying, selling, and trading every day for 3 decades.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit mastercarsinc.com to get more details. That's mastercarsinc.com.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben Barnett with Timberline Tree Care. I'm really excited to announce another reason why we should be taking care of your trees. Timberline is now the only tree care provider anywhere to offer full-spectrum tree maintenance programs that are fully guaranteed. Here's how it works. You call Timberline and an ISA-certified arborist will meet you at your home. We will develop a plan that includes soil testing and amendment, fertilization, any necessary pesticide applications, and annual inspections by an ISA-certified arborist. But here's the best part. Maintenance pruning of your tree is included in this plan. And in the unlikely event that your tree dies while under our care, we will remove it for free. All you have to do is call us and sign up for the plan. We will take care of literally everything from there. There's no obligation, and you can cancel at any time. For tree care that is guaranteed, call Timberline Professional Tree Care at 636-479-7475 or find out more at stltreecare.com.
More than 200 adults with developmental disabilities are building independent lives with Emmaus Homes, supporting them every step of the way. At Emmaus, we believe everyone deserves the chance to make choices, grow friendships, and live full, meaningful lives in their own communities. This Give STL Day, May 7th, your gift will make a difference for adults with disabilities. Donate today at emmaushomes.org/GiveSTL. Together, we are building a world for spirited people living spirited lives.
Happy 30th anniversary to the Big 550 KTRS. 30 years of trusted local radio right here in St. Louis. This 30th anniversary salute is brought to you by Dowd Bennett, proud to call St. Louis home and proud to support the local voices that keep our community connected. Like KTRS, Dowd Bennett invests in the region we serve because when St. Louis thrives, we all thrive. And like KTRS, we bring focus and follow through to our work, delivering results that matter. Congratulations, KTRS, from Dowd Bennett.
Live from Studio 550, this is The McGraw Show on KTRS.
All right, we got lots to talk to Mike Dubusky about. Let's get right to it. First of all, Mike Dubusky, explain to me the genius idea of GameStop trying to buy eBay.
I don't know if I would call it genius exactly, but yes, GameStop has announced that it's putting in a bid to acquire eBay for about $55.5 billion. The company's CEO, Ryan Cohen, who came aboard in 2021, says that he wants to make eBay a little bit more like Amazon, right? Compete with the real big e-commerce guns in the market. They say they're well positioned to make eBay do that. They have this plan to slash costs, improve efficiencies, as they say. They're proposing $2 billion worth of cuts within 1 year of this merger if it goes through, targeting product development and administration teams, as well as sales and marketing. So if this does end up happening, there will be layoffs coming. GameStop also says that its brick and mortar stores, its physical retail locations, could enhance eBay's offerings. Kind of unclear exactly what they're planning there, but maybe it's like you order something on eBay and then you can go pick it up in store as opposed to waiting for it through the mail. All told, this is about $125 a share for eBay, made up of 50% cash and 50% stock, according to Ryan Cohen. But there remains some real skepticism over whether GameStop, which is about 1/4 the size of eBay, can actually afford to do this. McGraw, I'll just hit you with some numbers here. GameStop's market capitalization is about $12 billion. They have about $9 billion on the books. That gets us into the low $20 billion range. Ryan Cohen also says he's secured a highly confident letter from TD Bank, contributing about $20 billion in debt for this deal. That gets us to the low $40 billion range. And I'm no math whiz, but that's not exactly $55 billion.
What has eBay said about this? Anything?
Yes, eBay is out with a statement. They're saying that they have received GameStop's offer and that its board will review this proposal with a focus on the value to be delivered to eBay shareholders, including the value of GameStop's stock consideration and the ability of GameStop to deliver a binding, actionable proposal. So it seems like they have some of the same concerns that a lot of investors do. Worth mentioning, though, eBay has been trying to turn itself around. That company, obviously a sort of legacy tech brand, really was at the forefront of a lot of Silicon Valley stuff in the 2000s, but kind of has fallen out of the mainstream in recent years, especially amid the rise of Amazon and others. They've been trying to turn it around. They announced earlier this year that they're acquiring Depop, which is a very popular secondhand clothing brand. They are buying it for about $1.2 billion. Their stock price is up about 140% since January of 2024 when they instituted this turnaround effort.
Interesting. Watch this space. It'll be interesting to see how this all turns out. All right, let's talk about these smartphone bans. New reports from experts. What do these new reports say about schools banning cell phones?
Yeah, so it's a new study from the National Bureau of Economic Research. They surveyed phone data from 40,000 schools between 2019 and 2026. So it's a really big study into this. And they found some interesting things. For one, in the year after a school implemented a ban on phones, taking kids' phones away during school hours, disciplinary incidents, the rate at which kids are getting into trouble for one reason or another, those incidents went up. But after the first year, disciplinary action actually started to trend down. So researchers say kids were kind of riled up by the change in the rules, but then eventually they got used to it. So that's kind of part one of this. However, when it comes to the actual issues that phone bans try to address, the data here is a little less encouraging. According to this study, banning phones in schools has little impact on things like attendance, whether kids are paying attention in class, whether kids feel like they're being cyberbullied, and perhaps most importantly, there is, according to this study at least, consistently close to zero effect on test scores. Now, researchers say there's the possibility that over a longer period of time, there could be larger impacts, but until then, we just don't really know. And it's worth mentioning, McGraw, this data is pretty consistent with other studies that we've seen around the world, in the UK and elsewhere. Even still, it has not stopped the implementation of these phone bans here and indeed around the world.
Why is test scores the harbinger of whether these bans are good or not? What about the overall mental health health of the students or suicide rates or just the feeling like they're not being bullied all day long? Why aren't those sort of more front and center on these results?
Well, because, I mean, they did look at those. I mean, again, cyberbullying was one of the key metrics that they looked at, whether kids feel like they're feeling more pressure. The overall sort of mental well-being of kids kind of was like the overall score here, and test scores are a part of that. If you're doing well in school, you feel better. And they basically found that, like, phone ban or not, there's not that much of a difference. And I think that really does underscore exactly how nuanced the topic of smartphones and kids really are. We've heard from mental health experts and advocates of, kind of not advocates, but sort of detractors for these smartphone bans, saying that, like, this is a blanket solution to a complicated problem. And I think that the data here really does back that up. But again, as we've said, the bans are still in effect, and it doesn't seem like they're really addressing some of these concerns, whether it be for mental health, whether it be for, suicide rates in schools, although worth mentioning that this particular study didn't look at suicide rates specifically. It just doesn't seem like there's that much of an impact. And we've heard that from experts in the past.
I know you didn't write the study, and that's not your conclusions. You're just reporting on it. But I wonder if this study was sponsored by the phone industry or something.
I don't think so. I think that's maybe a little bit of a wishful feeling.
I don't know. I know they're experts. I know they're doing the research. I know they're scientists. I have a hard time swallowing this one. Either it's too early to tell, but you're going to tell me that kids on their phone all day long on the playground is no difference than kids our age on the playground without smartphones. I find that awfully hard to believe, that there's no difference in all of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's God love you. All right, Mike. Good stuff. Thanks for checking in. Have yourself a good day.
All right. Have a good one.
You got it. All right. That's Mike Dubusky every Tuesday here and throughout the week. The Tech Minute for you, even though it's like 5 minutes. 7:58 here at St. Louis by the Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
70 west before Goodfellow is blocking the left lane with stop-and-go traffic back to Shreve. Estimated clearance time is 8:30. We have an accident on 70 west before 141. We have slow traffic on 70 east between Zumbel and 141. 55 north is crawling at Bayless, but it starts to open up at Weber and Carondelet. And the signals are on flash at Gravois and Laclede Station. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
I've seen your car, and you need to get it cleaned. That's where Country Club Car Wash comes in, locally owned and operated. They're attached to Mobile on the Runs, 5 area locations, Chesterfield Airport Road, and then out in St. Charles. If it doesn't say Country, it's not Country Club Car Wash. Here's what I would do. Go to a Country Club Car Wash, fill up the car, go inside, grab yourself a soda and a snack, and then head over to the car wash. Buy a monthly pass. You pay for it once. You get unlimited car washes all month long. Better yet, they have annual plans as well. They start as low as $200. I'm telling you, it's a deal. You can get your car washed every single day. Have the cleanest car on the block. Country Club Car Wash. Go buy a local monthly pass. CCCWSDL.com. 8 o'clock KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The U.S. and Iran traded fire yesterday in the Strait of Hormuz, and U.S. Central Command said the U.S. forces sank 6 small boats after Iran was firing cruise missiles and drones towards ships in the region. Despite that, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the ceasefire continues.
We expected there would be some churn at the beginning, which happened. And we said we would defend aggressively, and we absolutely have. Iran knows that.
He's discussing the U.S. efforts to help commercial ships move through the region.
The Pentagon calls it Project Freedom, a U.S. effort to ensure safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz.
Project Freedom is defensive in nature, focused in scope, and temporary in duration.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the effort involves U.S. destroyers, fighter jets, helicopters, drones, and surveillance aircraft, and it comes on top of the ongoing blockade of ships heading to or from Iranian ports. The Joint Chiefs Chairman says Iran has fired at U.S. forces more than 10 times since the ceasefire began last month, but he says those strikes were below the threshold of a return to major combat. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
And the U.S. military also says it killed 2 people in an alleged narco-trafficking boat Monday in the Caribbean Sea. That means at least 189 people have been killed in these U.S. strikes since last fall. The World Health Organization says it believes people with hantavirus already had the rare condition before they boarded a Dutch cruise ship. 7 people on board got sick. 3 of them have died. And Maria Van Kerkhove of the WHO says
contact tracing is ongoing. Further laboratory testing continues.
She says there are no more symptomatic people on board the ship, now anchored off the west coast of Africa. Primary elections today in several states, and Vice President J.D. Vance will be on the road in Iowa to support Congressman Zach Nunn. He'll also vote in his home state, Ohio's primary races. You're listening to ABC News.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
There are no rules, senor. It's Cinco de Mayo.
The Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Your yard, your workday, your John Deere. At Side & Sugar Nobe Partners, get the mowing power you need with low financing options on John Deere Zero Turns. For a limited time, choose 0% financing for 36 months or 1.9% financing for 60 months on Z700, Z900, and Quick Track commercial mowers. Plus, get additional cash off select mowers. Side & Sugar Nobe, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 6/1/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hello, everybody. I'm Scott Jacob.
And I'm Beth Jacob. We're the owners of Jacob Showers and Baths, local family-owned company in business for nearly half a century. We specialize in helping seniors age in place with bath and shower designs that are both safe and aesthetically pleasing.
We use a composite material that looks and feels like luxury stone. Come visit our showrooms in Fenton or Fairview Heights.
Mention the McGraw special or select the McGraw show from the drop-down menu on the website. Our phone, 800-222-6676, or visit us online at jacobbaths.com.
51 degrees at 8:03. Here's what's happening now. Charges have been filed in connection with the hit-and-run accident in North County that claimed the lives of 3 people. 20-year-old Devin Doherty has been charged with 3 counts of leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death and 1 count of driving on a suspended or revoked license. Police say Doherty was driving southbound along Lewis and Clark and Bellefonte Neighbors on Friday night when he allegedly sideswiped a vehicle near Haviland. This caused that vehicle to go into the northbound lanes and hit another vehicle head-on. Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway announced the appointment of Mark Ludlove as Deputy Attorney General. Ludlove has over 37 years of litigation experience at Bryan Cave Leighton Paisner. He most recently served as a practice group leader responsible for 130 lawyers and 15 offices across the nation. There, Ludlove specialized in mergers and acquisition disputes, business license tax and property tax cases, non-competition litigation, financial disputes, and other commercial litigation. He received numerous accolades during his time with the law firm, making the list of best lawyers in America, was ranked by Chambers, and was named Mentor of the Year by Missouri Lawyers Weekly. St. Louis City and Bi-State Development are holding a series of open houses this week to present a pair of bus rapid transit options for the Jefferson Avenue corridor. KTRS's David Solomon has more.
The bus rapid transit options are in place of the originally proposed Metrolink Light Rail Green Line. Bus Rapid Transit is a high-capacity transit system similar to light rail, using buses that offer faster boarding, frequent service, and improved reliability. In-person events will be held from 5 until 7 p.m. tonight at Rung for Women at 2717 Sydney Street and tomorrow at the Polish Heritage Center at 1413 North 20th Street. A virtual open house will be held as well Thursday night at 7. David Solomon, KTRS News.
Illinois' community colleges are a powerful driver of the state's economy. That's according to a newly released economic impact study called The Economic Value of the Community Colleges of Illinois. The report shows Illinois community colleges generate more than $27 billion in total economic impact and supports over 324,000 jobs statewide. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. 51 degrees. Time now is 8:06. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
You know him as the voice of Billikens basketball. It's time for sports with Bob Ramsey on the McGraw Show, powered by Paulding Electric on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's check in with Bob Ramsey here, voice of the Billikens. Good morning, Bob Ramsey.
McGraw, good morning. How you doing today?
Good. Did I hear the Billikens got some hotshot recruit out of East St. Louis?
Well, yeah, among others, they did. I don't know if you remember a young man that played for Georgetown back in the 90s and had I think a 7-year career in the NBA. He's a St. Louis guy named Jahidi White. Well, one of his sons committed, Jamison White. He committed to the Billikens. He is a 17-year-old, 6'9", with guard skills, and they won the state championship in Illinois this season. And he's only 17 years old. He's graduated a year ahead of time, and he committed to the Billikens to go along with another St. Louis kid, a 6'11" young man who went to John Burroughs, and a transfer from Marquette. Is it 4 or 5 Power 5 transfers coming to SLU? In fact, I told Coach Schertz over the weekend, I said, I've got a sentence for you that's never been uttered about St. Louis University basketball. And he said, what's that? And I said, we got too many guys. And it's almost an embarrassment of riches. Of course, it doesn't matter if you assemble talent. Well, it does matter, but it matters more if you get them into a cohesive program and you build your program. And that's where we are with the Billikens moving forward, you know, between what they've done, between what Mizzou's done in Columbia, with I think now with the portal closing up that they're, I think, the third-ranked recruiting class, counting the portal. And Illinois reloading, that college basketball next fall in our area is going to be big time.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. We look forward to it. All right, good stuff. Cardinals beat the Brewers last night. The Cardinals 21-14, 7 games over 500. I'm driving the bandwagon if you want to jump on.
Well, where's the bandwagon going?
We're going to the playoffs, baby.
Well,
we're going to the top, baby.
I want the team to win every game, and I want them to win the World Series. I think the pitching will be suspect over the long haul. And the Cardinals have declared as recently as this weekend, Chaim Bloom said as recently as this weekend, they'll sell at the deadline, not buy. Now, could you keep playing great ball like they're playing right now and the old man say, nope, we're going to try and win right now. Look how good we are, and completely change what the organization has declared? I would say that is a long shot possibility, but I sure wouldn't bet it.
Well, who would they sell? They got all the youngsters. I mean, they don't have a whole lot of wily veterans on this team.
Well, they do have Riley O'Brien, who has been a very good closer, and teams that are in the hunt and need a closer when July rolls around, assuming he performs like he's performing now. And I know you're assuming that because you're declaring playoffs.
Yeah, well,
he'll be traded.
Yeah,
he'll be traded. So you don't. So then you got to redo your bullpen, which has been a little suspect already anyway. And then you look at Dustin May, who's pretty good on Sunday, but has been very good after his first 3 starts. He's 28 years old. I love him. I wish they'd say we're going to hang on to this guy, but he probably doesn't fit into the plans. And if he continues to be effective, he would be another candidate to sell. So I would disagree with you. They do have players they would be able to sell at the deadline.
All right. Well, you're not allowed on my bandwagon then. I'm kicking you off the bandwagon. You are a Debbie Downer.
And you know, Josh and Heidi accused me of that yesterday. And anybody who knows me, I mean, I've been rooting for the Cardinals for 65 years. I really want them to be great. I'm just going by what the club itself had declared. And what I really don't want to do is be one of those sports guys that has recency bias and, hey, everything's great, when it's probably not going to be great. I don't want to see fans like you have your heart broken. What I want people to do is really enjoy learning how to play while winning, whereas most rebuilds around all sports, when a team declares they're rebuilding, they stink for a while. This is just the opposite. That's how good it is. It's really good, but I don't want to see our fans heartbroken.
By the way, I'm a Jet fan, so my heart has been shattered into a million pieces. So you can't keep me from having my heart broken. It's
all right. How many years of Jets fandom?
Oh, well, 59 years. So
okay,
I'm like the Tin Man. I don't have a heart anymore.
It can't be broken. But see, the Jets have been through that. Cardinal fans have not been through that. And so this is the first rebuild in the history of the franchise. And to do it and be playing good baseball is really fun and exciting. And I think enjoy it for what it is.
I'm having a blast watching this team. It's fun to watch.
So good.
Yeah,
it's so good. I agree with you.
Yeah, fun to watch. All right, let's talk soccer. The Bosnian-Herzegovina team's coming to St. Louis. Tell us about this game.
Well, I don't know anything about this game except that we have, the first or second largest Bosnian fan base, or people in the nation, and I think it'll be insane. I think it'll be crazy. But I'd be lying to you if I've really done a deep dive, not even a shallow dive. I haven't dipped a toe in the pool on the Bosnian soccer team. I think you knew that when you asked the question.
No, I don't. I know less than that. I know that there's a bunch of Bosnians who live in town and they have great restaurants.
And that's why it'll
be great. They've been great St. Louisans and have ingratiated themselves to St. Louis and have become Bosnian Americans. But the fact that their hometown, their home team, their foreign team is coming to play here in St. Louis is kind of cool.
It's really cool. And moreover, being a great part of the St. Louis community, they really injected life into the soccer community, going all the way down to little kid and up to club soccer, college soccer, and even more. And so it's really cool to see this, and I'm glad that the Bosnian heritage will be celebrated on the soccer pitch. I do think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's like if the Irish curling team came over and played a game in Forest Park or something. So I mean, it's just a cool
the
deal.
Irish whatever team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, with the Irish, it always comes down to drinking. So, but that's okay.
Please send your letters, care of KTRS, to Bob Ramsey. Okay, for that slight on the fine Irish people. It's not all about drinking.
As you know, as you may not know, I'm Scots-Irish, so I'm allowed.
Sometimes it's dancing, okay? Sometimes it's dancing, not just drinking.
Usually the dancing's fueled by alcohol, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Ramsey, each and every Tuesday here on the Big 550 KTRS. Bob, have a good day. Thanks, man.
See you, buddy.
All right. 8:14 here, Big 550 KTRS. Antonio French comes your way here in mere moments. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Volkovsky.
McGraw, the latest is an accident on 70 East at 94 with the stop and go back up to Zumbel. A crash on 70 West past Union has just been cleared with residual congestion back to Shreve. In Illinois, we have a crash on 70 East near Route 3. 64 East is heavy between Ballas and Hanley. We have some slow traffic on 70 East between Lake St. Louis Boulevard and Route K. 55 North is running slow at Bayless and Weber, but it opens up at Carondelet. and the signals are on flash at Gravois and Laclede Station. This traffic report is brought to you by the St. Louis Battlehawks. Your St. Louis Battlehawks match up on Friday, May 8th against the Columbus Aviators. Plus, the greatest show on turf will be honored at halftime with Dick Vermeil, Marshall Falk, Mike Jones, and more. That's Friday, May 8th, the Battlehawks and the greatest show on turf. Get your tickets now at uflbattlehawks.com. That's uflbattlehawks.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
The rain gear is a requirement today. We're looking at periods of rain and thunderstorms under cloudy skies. It won't rain all day, but there's going to be on and off showers and a few rumbles throughout the course of the day. It's a cooler one, too. Temperatures drop into the mid-50s and then basically hold there into the afternoon. Clouds tonight, some scattered showers down to 46 for a cool Wednesday morning low. And then after a spot shower or two Wednesday morning, the rest of tomorrow looks dry. 59, though, still cool for the high tomorrow under mostly cloudy skies. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk Fertilome, because I've seen your yard and you need some help, and that's where Fertilome comes in. Fertilome, F-E-R-T-I, loam, Fertilome, lawn fertilizers, crabgrass preventers, lawn food. Fertilome's the good stuff. This is going to green up your grass. This is going to make it healthy. This is going to get rid of all the weeds. Fertilome, go to your independent lawn and garden dealer. There's a whole bunch of them. And ask the authorized dealer there, what do you do, how do you do it, what do you put down, how much to put down, and start putting it down. When you're done, you'll see science take over, and the fertilizers and the pre-emergence will start to work, so the weeds will die out, the ones you have will die out, and then no new weeds will come up, and then the grass will get green, it'll be lush, and it'll be pretty good. So you want to get rid of those weeds, you want to freshen up your yard. The best way to do it, the easiest, simplest way to do it, Fertilome. Don't go to the big box stores because they ain't there. They only support local independent dealers. Fertilome, F-E-R-T-I, Fertilome, or Fertilome.com.
Tune in Mondays to the Frank and Jill Show for Success St. Louis Style as they feature a St. Louis in making a difference in our community. Brought to you by the St. Louis Chess Club. Building champions in the classroom and the community. Online at stlouischessclub.org.
It's that time of year. The kids are home. It's time for spring flowers, fresh mowed lawns, summer sports, and the ongoing question,
Mom, what's for dinner?
Why not let Gingham's Restaurant handle that for you? Whether it's a great breakfast, lunch while you're out, a hearty home-style dinner, or a late-night snack, Gingham's is open 24 hours a day. And don't forget dessert. Start the summer off right with Gingham's Restaurant in St. Charles. 636-946-0266 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
How would you like your vehicle serviced at your own home or office? Our new Mobile Service Plus, available exclusively from St. Paul Cadillac, can do just that. Hi, this is Joe Clemens. Simply give us a call or go to our website and get a unit dispatched right to your doorstep. This is a game changer for customer service, and we are so happy to offer it to you. Everything from oil changes, belts, new tires, tire rotation, recalls, key fobs, brake pads and rotors, EV charge, battery replacement, air conditioning service, and so much more. St. Paul's Mobile Service Plus will come to you. Call our mobile dispatch at 636-931-0055. That's 636-931-0055. Or go to our website at stpaulcadillac.com and set up an appointment. It's that simple. Get door-to-door service with St. Paul's new Mobile Service Plus. Nothing could be be easier. Set up your appointment today. That's Mobile Service Plus exclusively from St. Paul Cadillac at the Herculaneum Auto Mall exit.
Mama's on the Hill has been a proud family-owned restaurant since 1939.
Hi, it's Andrea and Lance Irvin, owners of Mama's on the Hill. We want to wish everyone at the Big 550 KTRS a very happy 30th anniversary.
From one proud family-owned and operated business to another, and a special thanks to Matt Dorsey for becoming a lifelong friend.
Mark Lawson here, owner of Black Fox Cooper. We're an Anderson certified contractor. That means every window we install meets Anderson's exacting standards for quality, performance, and durability, and our installation is guaranteed for 2 years, in addition to the 20-year warranty on the glass. In many cases, we can upgrade your existing Anderson windows with new energy-efficient glass at a cost far less than replacing the whole window. Financing is available. Call 314-270-1484 for a free consultation and estimate, or online at blackfoxcooper.com.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Tune in Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Straight Talk and Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus for an intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing. Now, back to McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
St. Louis Post-Dispatch columnist Antonio French joins us every Tuesday and every Thursday. Good morning, Antonio French.
Hey, good morning.
I don't know what you people are drinking down there on the editorial board, but you guys got some interesting opinions coming out. Now, you floated the idea, I love the headline, Hear Us Out here, floated the idea of maybe it's a good idea to start talking about setting up a program where you pay people to move back downtown in St. Louis. Talk about this.
Well, it's a bit of a radical idea. It is something that I think gets people's attention. But, the idea is that you kind of provide a financial incentive to entice people to move back downtown. Maybe that's, setting up a fund and take care of the first few months of rent or something. But just providing some kind of incentive to show that, the city of St. Louis is serious about trying to get people back into its core downtown area. And that's going to, in turn, help businesses, help the economy downtown, and help foot traffic, and help rise, all ships will rise, all boats will rise with more people coming down there, spending money and living down there.
When I first read it, I said, you guys have jumped the shark down there. You guys are crazy. But when you start to think about it, you mentioned Tulsa, and there have been other places that have sort of done this, hey, we need to repopulate our area, come and we'll give you an incentive. So when you really stop and think about it, it's not that crazy of an idea.
Yeah, it's not that crazy of an idea, and I'm sure that there'll be people that push back and say that those funds should be spent in different ways, or maybe in different parts of town, or why focus on downtown. And I think we've made the case over the last few issues here of why downtown is important and why dollars that we spend downtown actually kind of have a multiplying effect, and that actually the effect of not having people downtown and not having businesses downtown costs more than just that one space being vacant. It really costs the city a lot, even in terms of identity, in terms of economic growth, in terms of possibilities of attracting larger companies that bring more taxes, et cetera. So the signal that it will send is that St. Louis is serious about trying to turn the tide of what's happening downtown. And I think that's really the big thing, is that people need to know that St. Louis is actually trying to fix this problem and not just keeping its head in the sand.
Yeah, and there's a lot of hurdles, as you talk about in the op-ed, how to go about doing it, who's going to fund the money. You have to set up parameters, right? You just don't want it to give it to everybody. You want people who are going to be there and work there and play there. So there's a lot of hurdles, and it's just a crazy idea. But you mentioned Tulsa. Apparently it worked quite well when the city of Tulsa did it.
Yeah, there's some success stories. The other thing too is whether or not this is actually public money, or maybe this is just an organized, more marketing thing with the property owners downtown. The apartment owners, the condo owners, et cetera. However, it's actually funded. In my opinion, usually these things work better when they operate privately more so than government. But however it's done, something like that does make a headline. Something like that is something that gets re-reported in other cities, and it kind of sends a message across the country that, hey, this is, consider St. Louis again, and that's really what we want. We want people to consider St. Louis again, and sometimes it takes a bold kind of radical thing to do that.
What's been the reaction since you guys printed the op-ed piece?
It's been, it sparks a conversation, and that's exactly what you want. So whether people are in agreement or they disagree, I will tell you that, from reports from our editor here, the letters to the editor have really increased this week. A lot of people have read this position, and they read these pieces, and they've got strong feelings about it. It's a problem everybody's seen. I mean, everybody knows that, downtown has been declining at a more accelerated pace, it seems, in the last few years, and that the city has to do something about it. Now, what we do about it, that's where the conversation happens. But, it's the role of the daily paper and us as the editorial board to kind of spark these conversations. And I think we've done a good job of that this week, is really kind of spark this conversation. And people are talking about it. And as more people talk about it, hopefully some good solutions come out of it, and we can kind of start fixing this problem.
Yeah, the other interesting thing about the last couple of days was this stabbing in Busch Stadium. And it seems like the people who are going to hate have piled on and say, see, look, downtown's not safe. That stabbing in Busch Stadium could have happened anywhere, anytime. It's this constant anger towards downtown and the city of St. Louis is something that I don't think happens in a lot of other places, and is such a weird phenomenon here in St. Louis.
People pile on, when there's an issue or something like that, a narrative gets formed, and that's what has to be changed. The people who are trying to transform downtown, they know that the first thing they're really going to have to tackle is this narrative. Because when there's this kind of narrative about the story of downtown, anything that happens, any headline or any piece of news, it kind of gets reported or pushed through that narrative. And so obviously two people get into it, one of them pulls out a knife. That story happens anywhere in the country, but because this one particular happened in Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis, somehow this is related to downtown. Yeah. I don't think that's actually true, but it does feed into this narrative that people have of downtown, and man, we got to change that.
That's Antonio French. I'd read this op-ed piece, stltoday.com, the editorial, pay people to live downtown in St. Louis. It's just one idea, hear us out, and they make the argument to spark the conversation. Antonio, good stuff. We'll talk to you on Thursday.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You got it. 828, Big 550, KTRS. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, an accident on 70 East at 94 is causing a stop and go back up to Zumbel. Estimated clearance time is 9 a.m. In Illinois, there's a crash on 70 East near Route 3. 64 East is heavy between Ballas and Hanley. 270 North congested from Tesson Ferry all the way up to Manchester. We have some slow traffic on 64 East between Clarkson and Timberlake Manor, also from Spady to Hanley. 55 North is stop and go at Bayless, and the signals are on flash at Gravois and Laclede Station. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
We got rain all day today. It's going to be about as warm as it is today the rest of the day. They're calling for up to a quarter of an inch of rain and wind gusts, maybe some hail along the way. High today of 55, and that's exactly where we are, right about 55. Overnight tonight, low of 45 with more rain overnight. Tomorrow we start to clear out, though plenty of clouds tomorrow, high of 63. It's 52 right now. At 8:30, let's go to the newsroom. Once again, here's Rose Dalton.
U.S. forces launched an effort to guide commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz, with the first two ships, both American-flagged merchant vessels, sailing through unscathed. Joint Chiefs Chairman Dan Kane said the safety corridor in the key waterway for oil and gas transport involves guided missile destroyers, more than 100 aircraft, and 15,000 service members. Tennessee becomes the latest southern state to consider redrawing its congressional map after the U.S. Supreme Court severely weakened the Voting Rights Act. Republican Governor Bill Lee called Tennessee lawmakers into a special session starting today to consider a plan that could break up the state's lone Democratic-held U.S. House district centered on the majority black city of Memphis. In local headlines, the St. Charles City Council will hold a public hearing tonight on a proposal that would ban large-scale data centers within city limits. The public hearing is scheduled for 7 p.m. at St. Charles City Hall. And the Missouri Department of Transportation's Sponsor a Highway program is now available statewide. It was previously exclusive to the St. Louis and Kansas City areas. 51 degrees. Time now is 8:30. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Let me tell you about Medicare Man and Ryan Raphael, because as you approach 65, you have to make a decision for yourself, one that you don't have all the answers on. So you need the answers so you can make an informed decision. That's where Ryan Raphael comes in. He is the Medicare Man. So as you approach 65, you got to make some decisions, get the information from him. If you're over 65 and you're already on Medicare, or you're over 65 and you haven't made the switch yet, and you got all sorts of questions, again, Ryan Raphael is your man. Make sure you're in the right plan, or what plan do you get? Again, all legitimate questions, ones that he can answer. Don't go to the Googles and think you can answer this, and don't ask your friends, and certainly don't ask Jimmy J.J. Walker. He's just out there to get you to call somebody in Florida. MedicareManSTL.com. Do not worry about the cost. There is no cost involved. That is included in the price of the plan. It's all regulated, so don't worry about that. All you get is good, rock-solid information. 314-368-6808 or MedicareManSTL.com.
I'm Jason Quillman, owner and founder of Window Depot USA of St. Louis. You don't replace your windows and doors every day, so when you do, make it count with the best product at the best value. At Window Depot USA of St. Louis, we bring you Energy Star most efficient triple pane windows built for maximum energy savings, superior sound control, and condensation resistance. And thanks to our national buying power, we offer high-performance triple pane windows competitively priced compared to other companies' double panes. Call Window Depot USA of St. Louis today at 636-939-4800 or visit us online at WindowDepotSTL.com.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer.
That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newstetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry and Big Bend or learn more at WowDiamonds.com.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hallmark Cards presents Mother's Day at Walgreens. Celebrate every mother figure in your life with a Hallmark card at Walgreens. Show how much she means to you and how deeply she's loved. A Hallmark card is the perfect way to say thank you for all she does. Don't forget, Mother's Day is Sunday, May 10th. Visit Walgreens today to find the perfect Hallmark Mother's Day card and make her feel truly special. Mother's Day means Hallmark cards at Walgreens.
At Target, finding something for every kind of mom and every side of mom just got easier. Does she love fashion? Take 20% off select women's clothing and accessories and find a dress she'll love to wear. Is she into the outdoors? Freshen up her favorite spot with up to 40% off planters, pillows, and poofs. Or keep it classic, fresh tulips for just $12 and a Dossier fragrance trio for $32. Whatever mom is into, we've got it. Celebrate mom her way, only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Now back to McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, in honor of Cinco de Mayo, let's go to Cancun. First, to get to Cancun, we got to go to Altair Travel and Cruises right there on Brentwood Boulevard next to O.B. Clarkson. Check in with Angie. Angie, welcome back, my friend.
Hi, McGraw. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Let's talk Cancun. How do we get there? Take me away.
Oh, my goodness. It's so easy. I know I've talked about this before, but with it being Cinco de Mayo, I said, let's talk about it again. So from St. Louis, we can fly nonstop on Frontier Airlines. We can fly nonstop on Southwest Airlines. And on Saturdays, we can fly nonstop to Cancun on American Airlines. So there are 3 options that we can fly nonstop to Cancun, which makes it just a great destination for a quick getaway, for a week getaway, for 14 days getaway, whatever you want to do, you can get to Cancun very easy. You could even do a 2-night getaway if you wanted to. And really, with the ease of that flight, it's about a 3-hour flight. It's like going to Miami, and so you can go to Cancun. You could spend a couple nights at one of the fabulous resorts. And the reason that I like to talk about it is because when you go online, there are so many great resorts. They all look fabulous. But we, the Altair agents, have been to many, many, many of these resorts because we go for site inspections. And so we really know which ones truly are fabulous, which ones maybe aren't fabulous, but are going to be your best value. So if somebody's looking for just something that's decent, but a really good value, we can direct you with that. There are certain resorts that are better for babies than others. There are certain resorts that are better for teenagers than others. So there's a lot of resorts that you can see online, but we can really kind of guide you best if you call us. And you don't pay more by calling us. We're not charging you a fee. It's just we're giving you our knowledge.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine trying to book a resort in Cancun without calling you guys first, because something might look good online, but just because it looks good online doesn't mean that it makes sense for you, and you don't know what they're hiding, or you don't see the nuclear power plant right outside the picture. I wouldn't even, right? This is what you guys do. This is your bread and butter right here.
There it is. And, the last couple of years, the seaweed has been an issue in Cancun. And so there are certain areas that the seaweed is heavier than other areas. So that reason alone, call us. We'll tell you, okay, if you go this way, if you go north of the airport, you're going to be less apt to have a seaweed beach, And so those are important things. When you're spending your money, you want to get there, have a beautiful beachfront, not, with seaweed. Now, granted, they're constantly cleaning the seaweed, but if we can get you to a resort that has less seaweed to start with, it'll be less that they're trying to clean.
Yeah, interesting. Only 3 hours from St. Louis. That's a hop, skip, and a jump. That's like nothing.
It's nothing. Yeah. It's so easy. Yeah, it really is. And, Frontier's flight leaves really early. So if, I think it leaves around 6 a.m. So you are in destination 9:30, and if you're checking a bag, you are at your, the transfer bus by 10 on your way to the resort. Now, granted, the resort room is not ready at 10 a.m., so you have to get there. You can put your suit on and start using the pool and the beach and things, but you wouldn't be able to get into your room typically around 3 p.m.
Yeah, no. And then you can spend a week, you can spend 3 days, you can spend 2 days. So it's pick your choice for Altair Travel and Cruises. All right, while I have you, let me ask you about airline pricing when it comes to jet fuel, because you're starting to hear a lot of conversations. How is that affecting you, and what are you hearing, and what are you telling people?
You know, I think that, we have definitely seen maybe less calls, this month. I think people, because of the media, are worried about the cost of fuel and worried about the air tickets. What we're seeing is if you are going with a company, like if you're going with a Colette or you're going on a cruise line and you're doing the air with these companies, they are discounting the air. So they're buying air in bulk and they're selling it to us at a better price than maybe we could get just going to American and buying it. I would say last year traveling to Europe, you were at $1,200, and this year traveling to Europe, you're at maybe $1,350. So it's not undoable, but it is a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. What about?
But
yeah, go ahead.
the hotels, the things. Everybody wants tourism. Everybody wants you to come to their areas. So if the air is costing you the ability to get there, the hotels might discount their rate. So overall, if you do a package or you work with an agent, you might not spend more, So there's tricks around how to get the best bang for your buck, for sure.
That's a really good point, right? Fuel prices might be up, the airline might be a little more, but they'll discount you all over the place because they certainly want your business. That's a really that's a really interesting point. How's Grandma doing? How are you hanging out with the grandkids? You getting enough sleep?
I am. It's so fun. We had JR overnight on Saturday night, and he is, he's like 2. Well, he's a little over 2, and he is talking and just so full of energy and so much fun. So we gave Haley and Joey the night off. They had Penny still, but we took JR and we loved it. So it's so fun. Yeah. And Penny is like the cutest. She's got these dimples and just this big smile. When she smiles with her eyes. You know how some people, when they smile, their whole face changes. Well, that is her, and it's just adorable.
Good stuff. Hey, while I have you, real quick, somebody on the text line wanted me to ask you about Spirit. Did Spirit fly out of St. Louis? Does that affect St. Louis at all?
They did a little bit, but it doesn't affect us as bad as like if Frontier went under or something. So we did not use Spirit unless somebody asked us to use Spirit.
Got it. Okay. All right, good. By the way, I just wanted on the record that you used to be critical of your mom talking about her grandkids all the time.
I know. And, with this week being Mother's Day, gosh, she's on my mind. And I was like, when I was thinking about, what to talk about on the radio, I was like, oh, I should talk about my mom or something. But, I was critical, and I'm sorry for doing that.
Well,
she should talk and talk and talk about it.
Well, and I love, and you were like, I love when you talk about the grandkids. That's what makes it. That's what makes it all bearable. So it's all good stuff. You keep talking about the grandkids all day long. Angie Markway with Altair Travel and Cruises. Do yourself a favor and head over there for all of your travel needs. Right there next to Obie Clark's on Brentwood Boulevard. Angie, have a good Mother's Day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, McGraw. Take care. Bye-bye.
Angie Markway, one of the good ones. Altair Travel and Cruises, 314-968-9600 or altairtravel.com. 843, Captain Paul, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. An accident on 70 East at 94 is causing a stop and go back up to Cave Springs. Estimated clearance time is 9 a.m. 64 West is congested from Hampton to 170. 270 North is heavy between Tesson Ferry and Gravois and from 44 to Manchester. We have some slow traffic on 64 East between Chesterfield Parkway West and Timberlake Manor. Also from Spady to Hanley. 55 North is stop and go at Bayless. 6455 West is running slow from 64 to the Poplar Street Bridge there in Illinois. And the signals are on flash at Gravois and Laclede Station, also at Kings Highway and 44. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
Keep that umbrella at your side all day long today. It won't continuously rain, but there will be periods of some showers and thunderstorms under cloudy skies. Much cooler today, too. We hit 80 yesterday. Today, we drop into the mid-50s and just kind of stick there through the afternoon. Clouds tonight in the forecast with some scattered showers, 46 for a cool Wednesday morning low, and then maybe a spot shower or two Wednesday morning, but the rest of Wednesday looks dry, 59 for the high on Wednesday under mostly cloudy skies. Looking dry Thursday. Our next chance of rain rolls in Friday afternoon into Friday night. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, you want to stay in your house and quote-unquote age in place, but that shower, navigating that shower could be somewhat difficult. That's where Jacob Baths and Showers comes in, because Jacob has been doing this for 50 years. They specialize in helping seniors age in place with that bath and shower design. Now, first of all, they'll make it safe for you, but second of all, it'll be aesthetically pleasing. It'll be nice. It'll be stylish. They use composite materials that look like luxury stone, but there's low maintenance. And they last a lifetime. Non-slick surface for the shower floor, installation seats and grab bars, not to mention that low threshold walk-in shower. They can take that tub and get it out of there and put in that low threshold walk-in shower. At Jacob, they take everything out. They never overlay the mold. That's the most important thing. They'll do it all in 1 to 2 days. Ask about the McGraw special from their drop-down menu. Both locations, they've got one on each side of the Mississippi River, one in Fenton and one in Fairview Heights. JacobBaths.com. Do yourself a favor. If you're looking to redo your bath, JacobBaths.com.
Stan Musial, he missed a season in his prime to serve his country in the Navy.
Honor a legend on Saturday, May 16th, when the Cardinals face the Kansas City Royals. Fans can secure a Stan Musial military bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola and Deerbirds. This patriotic collectible celebrates Stan's Hall of Fame career and his service to our country. A true symbol of character on and off the field. A tribute worth displaying and remembering. Don't miss it. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Paging all nurses and healthcare heroes. This night is for you. Join the Cardinals for Nurses Appreciation on Wednesday, May 20th and Thursday, May 21st at Busch Stadium. With a special theme ticket, you'll receive a healthcare-inspired Cardinal sweatshirt plus a coupon for a complimentary drink. It's our way of saying thank you for all that you do in our community. Don't miss the special theme at the ballpark. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
Travel iconic Route 66 to Springfield, Illinois. Experience one of America's most beloved presidents, Abraham Lincoln. Explore historic Route 66 that runs throughout the city. Discover vibrant arts and architecture, including the Illinois State Capitol and Frank Lloyd Wright's Dana Thomas House. You can snap a photo as you check out attractions including the Route 66 mural and Wayside Exhibit Trail, Cozy Dog Drive-In, and the Legends Neon Sign Park. Start your exploration today at visitspringfieldillinois.com.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben Barnett with Timberline Tree Care. I'm really excited to announce another reason why we should be taking care of your trees. Timberline is now the only tree care provider anywhere to offer full-spectrum tree maintenance programs that are fully guaranteed. Here's how it works. You call Timberline and an ISA-certified arborist will meet you at your home. We will develop a plan that includes soil testing and amendment, fertilization, any necessary pesticide applications, and annual inspections by an ISA-certified arborist. But here's the best part. Maintenance pruning of your tree is included in this plan. And in the unlikely event that your tree dies while under our care, we will remove it for free. All you have to do is call us and sign up for the plan. We will take care of literally everything from there. There's no obligation, and you can cancel at any time. For tree care that is guaranteed, call Timberline Professional Tree Care at 636-479-7475 or find out more at stltreecare.com.
Tabernacle Community Development Corporation
is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping eliminate poverty as well as exclusion by improving the social, educational, and economic infrastructure which leads to self-sufficiency. Their social service and community development programs work to improve lives by empowering the individual. Give STL Day is on May 7th. Please consider making a donation to Tabernacle Community Development Corporation online at tabdev.org.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Your St. Louis Battlehawks match up on Friday, May 8th against the Columbus Aviators. Plus, the greatest show on turf will be honored at halftime with Dick Vermeil, Marshall Falk, Mike Jones, and more. That's Friday, May 8th. The Battlehawks and the greatest show on turf. Get your tickets now at UFLBattlehawks.com.
Now, back to McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's talk a little STL giving and talk to one of our good friends. If you don't like this guest, well, you don't want to listen to KTRS all morning long because he's on in the morning, and he's going to join us tonight for a more in-depth conversation. Ryan McClure, Executive Director of the Arch Park Foundation. Ryan, welcome back to the Big 550 KTRS.
Great to be with you as always, McGraw. Thank you.
You ready for tonight?
Yes, absolutely. I was born ready.
Yeah. The grilling I'm going to give you tonight on America at Night. All right, so it is STL Giving Day, and you guys come on and talk about the Journey Fund. First, let's talk about the Gateway Arch Park Foundation, and what is the Journey Fund?
Sure. So Gateway Arch Park Foundation, for those that don't know, we are the official philanthropic partner of Gateway Arch National Park. So it's our job to ensure that the Arch is well supported and welcoming to all for future generations. And when we talk about future generations, that means students and field trips. And unfortunately, not all of the schools in St. Louis have the budget to take field trips to the Arch. And that, as we all know, that is a rite of passage for a St. Louis child. So what the Journey Fund does is pay all costs for any Title I school to get kids to the Arch. So transportation, food when they get there, trips to the top of the Arch, riverboat rides, tours from rangers. We want to make sure that all those costs are paid so there's no barrier for these kids getting to the Arch.
It's a pretty sweet deal. How much does it cost, and how much are you looking for per person?
Well, so $25, just for $25, that will fund an entire trip for a student. So, no matter what you give, $25 or more, you're going to be helping getting kids to the Arch. So, just last year we had almost 2,000 students and educators that got to go to the Arch as part of the Journey Fund. So every little bit helps.
$25 funds one student's trip to the Gateway Arch. Does that include the movie Monument to a Dream?
Yes, absolutely. If Monument to the Dream is, they kind of get to select a menu of what they want to see. And experience, and Monument to the Dream would be part of that.
That is one of those cool videos. It's a great movie. Shows you really the captures the 1960s and the Technicolor and what St. Louis looked like downtown as those men were building the Arch. It's a pretty extraordinary movie when you think about it.
It really is, and it's created by Charles Guggenheim. He was the director and producer of it, and it was Oscar nominated that year.
How about that? All right, good. Tell me about these riverboat excursions. I didn't know about those. What are those like?
Yeah. So those are great. So those excursions are run by our partners at Bi-State, and you get to go up and down the Mississippi River. You get to learn about the importance of the river. That's why St. Louis is here, is because of our location at the confluence of the Mississippi and Missouri Rivers. So for kids getting out to get out on the water, learn about the Mississippi River, is just really a great experience.
Yeah, cool. All right, Ryan McClure, what else is going on at the Arch that we should be paying attention to?
Well, as you know, there's always something going on at the Arch. And as you're always great about saying, McGraw, if you haven't been down to the Arch since the renovations have happened, you got to come down. Come see the museum. We just opened the old courthouse last year around this time, so there's brand new exhibits there, and that's a beautiful building that is rich with American history. We've got some great events coming up over Memorial Day weekend. We're going to have a roller rink out on the riverfront, which is going to be really exciting. And then we've got a picnic in your park coming up on June 7th. So just lots of great things to experience down at the Arch.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. What's the website to find out more, and what's the website to donate to the Journey Fund?
So if you just go to archpark.org, you will find out how you can donate and support to the Journey Fund. And, on the Give STL Day, there's lots of great nonprofits to support, and we hope that folks will support Gateway Arch Park Foundation and the Journey Fund. And again, that's archpark.org.
And you can also become a member of the Arch Park Foundation, can you not?
You can, yes. So we've, again, you can learn all kinds of ways that you can support Gateway Arch Park Foundation and what we're doing at the Arch just by going to the website. So you can become a member, you can volunteer, you can support the Journey Fund, all sorts of ways to get involved and further this mission.
One more time, the website, Ryan.
It's archpark.org.
All right. Hang tight. We'll talk with you tonight on America at Night. Thanks, Ryan.
Sounds great. Thanks, McGraw. Take care.
You got it. Ryan McClure, one of the good ones, has been a big supporter of the Big 550 KTRS, and the reason why the Gateway Arch Park Foundation is a model organization. And if you haven't been to the Arch, it's so beautiful. It's so fantastic. And it's in our own hometown. Why would you not bring the kids or the grandkids to go see the historic St. Louis Arch? The Journey Fund, and then help an underprivileged kid who can't get to the Arch and their school to get to the Arch so they can be part of the St. Louis experience as well. The Journey Fund with the Gateway Arch Park Foundation. 8:56. Check in with Captain Paul Kopsky in the St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, the latest is a crash on 70 West before Jennings Station with traffic slow back to Union. An accident on 70 East at 94 is causing a backup to Cave Springs. 64 West is slow from Hampton out to 170. 270 North is heavy between Doherty Ferry and Manchester. We have some slow traffic on 64 East between Clayton and Hanley. 6455 West is busy from 64 to the Poplar Street Bridge. And the signals are on flash at Gravois and Laclede Station and at Kings Highway and 44. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or have the Rack House cater your next event with box lunches or buffets to accommodate groups of 10 to 200 people. The Rack House, featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
I'm Dan Head, the new owner of Patriot Build Sunrooms, a family company with a name trusted by St. Louis for sunrooms for over 40 years. If you have a backyard, patio, or deck, our products are awesome because they allow you to actually use your space by blocking the sun, creating privacy, and ensuring year-round comfort. We've been in the outdoor living space for so long that we know how to create spaces that truly enhance your home and add long-term value. Call 314-822-3232 for a free design consultation and come visit our Kirkwood showroom online at patriotbuildsstl.com.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. You know how spring works in St. Louis. One week you're running the furnace, the next week you're flipping on the air conditioner. It's weather whiplash, and your HVAC system feels it too. That's why spring is the perfect time to have the experts at Premier Heating and Cooling check things out. Their technicians go through 5 years of training well beyond industry standards. So when they perform a tune-up, they're making sure your system is running safely, efficiently, and ready for whatever the next St. Louis weather swing brings. If your furnace or air conditioner is older or starting to struggle, Premier can help with that too. They offer financing options that make replacing your system far more manageable, and a new unit can mean better comfort and lower energy bills all year long. So whether it's a quick tune-up or time for an upgrade, Call the team that knows how to handle St. Louis weather. 636-916-1122, premierheatingcooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG Properties.com.
Chips? Check. Salsa? Check. We're celebrating Cinco de Mayo right along with you this domingo. The Big 550 KTRS St. Louis. Hey, can you pass the guac?
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Iran has threatened the U.S. The two sides have exchanged fire at sea, but the Pentagon says the ceasefire is holding.
The Joint Chiefs Chairman says since the fragile truce began last month, Iran has fired at U.S. forces more than 10 times. But General Dan Kane says those strikes have not been significant enough to break the ceasefire.
All below the threshold of restarting major combat operations at this point.
In addition to the ongoing blockade of ships heading to or from Iranian ports, the U.S. military is now undertaking what officials call Project Freedom, an effort to ensure safe passage of commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
And Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says that Project Liberty is a defensive operation.
All of these ships from all around the world want to get out of the Iranian trap that they have been stuck inside.
But shipping and insurance companies have said the White House has not been clear enough about the plan or the conditions in the strait. The strait's closure has sent gas prices in the U.S. higher. They're up over $1.50 on average since the war began, and Gas Buddies petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan tells ABC.
We could be seeing a national average rise to $4.55 to $4.75 by the time Memorial Day rolls around.
And that could become a political liability for Republicans. And today, primary races will determine who's set to be on the ballot come November. In some states like Ohio, Vice President J.D. Vance will be there to vote in his home state. He'll also be in Iowa on behalf of Republican Congressman Zach Nunn. The World Health Organization says it's working to evacuate 2 people infected in the suspected hantavirus outbreak on a Dutch cruise ship, which is anchored off Cape Verde in the North Atlantic. Maria Van Kerkhove of the WHO said
passengers are being asked to stay in their cabins and limit their risk while disinfection and other measures are being taken.
3 people have died. You're listening to ABC News.
To show our appreciation for everything military service members do for our country, Auto House BMW offers up to $5,000 toward a new BMW purchase for veterans, active military, military families, and first responders. During the Power the Mission sales event, everyone enjoys rates starting at 1.99% APR, great lease and purchase credits, and we'll donate $50 for every purchase to Team Red, White, and Blue, an organization supporting veterans. We're proud to be part of this mission and hope you'll join us at Auto House BMW.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
Happy 30th anniversary to the Big 550 KTRS. 30 years of trusted local radio right here in St. Louis. This 30th anniversary salute is brought to you by Dowd Bennett, proud to call St. Louis home and proud to support the local voices that keep our community connected. Like KTRS, Dowd Bennett invests in the region we serve because when St. Louis thrives, we all thrive. And like KTRS, we bring focus and follow through to our work, delivering results that matter. Congratulations, KTRS, from Dowd Bennett.
50 degrees at 9:03. The man convicted of killing a Herman police officer and seriously injuring another officer is seeking a new trial. A hearing is planned later this afternoon on that motion for Kenneth Simpson. Earlier this year, Simpson was sentenced to death for the 2023 shooting that claimed the life of Officer Adam Sullentrup and seriously injured Sergeant Mason Griffith. 2 area members of Congress are proposing bipartisan legislation to address the ongoing mail delivery issues in the St. Louis region. Democrat Wesley Bell and Republican Ann Wagner announced the St. Louis Postal Accountability and Reform Act on Monday. If approved, the bill would require the U.S. Postal Service to track and report delivery performance, response to delays, and employee vacancy rates. The proposal has the backing of local members of the National Association of Letter Carriers, who say management needs to be held accountable for everything they're doing or not doing. A Shriners Children's St. Louis researcher has been awarded a $3.1 million grant to support research on osteogenesis imperfecta in the womb.
Dr. Aaron Osterreich was awarded the grant from the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development. The money will fund research to strengthen the bones of children born with OI. Approximately 50,000 people in the United States are afflicted with OI, an inherited condition that causes bones to be extremely fragile and prone to fracture. Over the next 5 years, Dr. Osterreich will collaborate with Drs. Laura Schultz and Charlotte Phillips at the Washington University, University of Missouri, and Shriners Children's St. Louis campuses. They are aiming to develop a prenatal drug therapy that strengthens bone formation before birth, potentially improving outcomes for the mother and child. David Solomon, KTRS News.
Southern Illinois University Edwardsville has once again earned gold tier recognition as a 2026-2027 military-friendly school. The selection places the university among the top 10% of institutions nationwide for its commitment to serving military-affiliated students, including active duty service members, veterans, and military-connected families. A St. Louis-based printing company has acquired a Kansas City area-based manufacturer. Pick the Gifted announced it has bought Just Vision It. Terms of the deal have not been disclosed. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. You can tune into Straight Talk on Retirement on Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 right here on the Big 550. The Dow is up 210 points to 49,100. The S&P is up 50 points to 7,300. And the NASDAQ is up 215 points to 25,400. In KTRS Sports, St. Louis City SC has another off day today following a crowded schedule the last couple weeks. City is still searching for MLS winner number 2 on the season when they travel to Colorado on Saturday. The NHL Draft Lottery is tonight. The Blues have roughly a 3% chance of receiving the number 1 overall pick. In KTRS Time Saver Traffic, let's go to the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center for a look at the roads, where we find Captain Paul Kopsky standing by.
Rose, no accidents, just a few slow spots. 64 West is slow from Hampton to 170. 270 North is heavy and slow between Doherty Ferry and Manchester. We have some slow traffic on 64 East between McKnight and Hanley. In Illinois, 6455 West is busy from Tudor to the Poplar Street Bridge, and the signals are on flash at Gravois and Laclede Station, also at Kings Highway and 44. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rockwood School District. Are you looking for a new part-time or full-time job opportunity? Consider Rockwood School District with openings for custodians, cafeteria workers, and groundskeepers with great benefits, competitive pay, and flexible hours. Apply online at rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. In KTRS weather, rain and scattered storms today with a high of 64. Cloudy with rain possible tonight, overnight low of 44. And tomorrow, more scattered rain during the morning, then clearing with a high of 59. Currently 50 degrees at 9:07. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
If it's time to replace your windows and doors, choose Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis. Pella's trusted local experts work in your area and within your budget, backed by the most preferred window and door brand by homeowners. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Study of homeowner perceptions of leading national brands. Study commissioned by Pella 2023.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. You know how spring works in St. Louis. 1 week you're running the furnace, the next week you're flipping on the air conditioner. It's weather whiplash, and your HVAC system feels it too. That's why spring is the perfect time to have the experts at Premier Heating and Cooling check things out. Their technicians go through 5 years of training well beyond industry standards. So when they perform a tune-up, they're making sure your system is running safely, efficiently, and ready for whatever the next St. Louis weather swing brings. If your furnace or air conditioner is older or starting to struggle, Premier can help with that too. They offer financing options that make replacing your system far more manageable, and a new unit can mean better comfort and lower energy bills all year long. So whether it's a quick tune-up or time for an upgrade, call the team that knows how to handle St. Louis weather. 636-916-1122, premierheatingcooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
Hey, Anne-Marie here, host of the Inside Out Show and owner of Anne-Marie Design Studio for Black Fox Cooper, St. Louis's premier Andersen certified contractor. That means every window they install meets Andersen's exacting quality standards, and the installation is guaranteed for 2 years, in addition to the 20-year warranty on the glass. With over 20 years of experience and knowing our climate, Black Fox Cooper will install the optimal windows to keep your home comfortable and efficient year-round, and most projects are completed within a day or two with minimal disruption to your daily routine.
Call 314-270-1484 or online at blackboxcooper.com.
Hey, St. Louis, temperatures are rising, and if your AC isn't blowing cold enough, trust the experts at AAA Home Services. For 56 years, they've been fixing it right the first time. Our expert technicians are qualified to work on any system with any issue. We can even perform your annual maintenance on your air conditioner before it gets too hot. And if you need an estimate on a new system, we can do that too. For 56 years, St. Louis has trusted AAA for heating and cooling, electrical, plumbing, and appliance repair needs. Call 636-397-3200. Online at AAASTL.com. Call AAA. We're on our way.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis with my home when it matters most. They are the local experts who know our area best. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. Restrictions apply. See site for details. The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis. This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
So it was last week, I think, where we were talking on the show, and for some reason I brought up Ness Sandoval, who is the demographer from St. Louis University, who's out making a whole lot of noise. And we were talking, I forget what we were talking about. Oh, we might have been talking about data centers. And
how the population is decreasing.
Yeah, how the population is decreasing. We're talking about the data center at the Armory. And how a town that is have more deaths than births can't turn down a $3 billion data center because it would just be foolish. And we were talking about Ness Sandoval and how, and then a lot of people were talking about, oh, well, that's why the city's dying, because it's a bunch of Democrats and no one's living in the city, and that's Well, Ness Sandoval has a op-ed piece in the St. Louis Business Journal recently, which I would highly recommend everybody reading. He also sat down with the Show Me Institute for a conversation about population and population growth. And it's quite entertaining. I would highly recommend going to find it. It's somewhere on YouTube. I'm sure the Show Me Institute's got it on their webpage. But among the things that Ness Sandoval said about the region, he talked about the schools and how the schools were already starting to see massive amounts of decline in children who are school-aged. Yes. He says, as of 2024, approximately 31,000 fewer children under the age of 15 are already accounted for in this ledger compared with 2020. He says without any sustained in-migration of young adults and families, the region could see a decline of 125 to 150 by the time the next numbers are released. Those are some pretty surprising numbers. He also said, which I thought was quite interesting, in terms of consolidation, right? We often talk about the city and the county consolidating, police departments consolidating. Well, according to Ness Sandoval, who is the St. Louis demographer, he's been on the show a couple times. He said in this Show Me in Suit podcast that don't be, and I'm paraphrasing here, but don't be surprised about the school districts. He says the school district's Parkway is having these meetings this month about what does Parkway look like in 2050, 25 years. They're starting to talk about consolidation in Parkway. Go out another 10 years. Rockwood will be talking about school consolidation. St. Charles will be talking about school consolidation. This is coming. He says, so everyone's focused on the city. You will see discussions like this even between Clayton and Brentwood. School consolidations. Look, you'd have to be a fool to not see the handwriting on the wall. I mean, Ness Sandoval is a very nice man, and he's a numbers guy. But in the year 2000, when I came to St. Louis, I think the population of the St. Louis city schools was like 50,000 kids. Today, you'll be lucky to get 15,000 kids in city schools. A lot of them have moved out, but a lot of them haven't been born. They just don't exist anymore. Kids don't exist anymore. And so, I mean, kids exist, but I mean, not in the numbers where they did before. And so you can't run a school district that was built on 50,000 kids for 15,000 kids. It just doesn't work. You're going to have to start consolidating. So even though no one likes to talk about consolidating, hang tight because it's coming to a school district near you. The other thing I wanted to touch on, and we can sort of open up the phones and whatever you want to talk about, 314-931-5877, 314-931-5877. Text your comments, pithy and otherwise, to 84126. This data center story in the Emerson buildings up in North County off of Lucas and Hunt. So it failed. It didn't pass, so it failed. So Ferguson rejected the tech hub and the data center for the Emerson campus. Ferguson. Now, this one's a bit of a head scratcher for me. Ferguson. They narrowly, well, let me tell you the news before I throw my 2 cents into here. Ferguson officials narrowly rejected a plan to give up to $1.5 billion in tax breaks to a developer proposing to turn the former Emerson campus into a tech hub, including a new data center. The vote was 3-3. They were going to deny incentives for developer Jim Onder, a local attorney who was proposed renovating the 217-acre Emerson site. The area is zoned industrial, but the development project would be among the largest in the region. 15 residents urged the county to vote against the plan. Residents have packed the meetings for weeks, reading from the Post-Dispatch. It would feature a data center would renovate the buildings, including a data center for as much as $19.5 billion in equipment purchases. The package would have been worth $355 million to $1.5 billion in revenue based on the amount of equipment installed on the site. Under the incentive package, the plan negotiated Ferguson would have been granted the project up to 15 years of tax abatements on real estate, personal property taxes, and sales taxes through 2050. The package would have been worth between $355 million and $1.5 billion in revenue based on the amount of equipment installed. So they would have gotten a tax abatement for 15 years, but they would have garnered a whole lot of taxes for the region. I am dumbfounded by this. Wasn't Ferguson the town that took to the streets and was very angry that there was no sort of investment or development into Ferguson, and that there was no job opportunities and there was no investment in the region, and yet they turned their back on a data center. Now, I know incentives are a tough pill to swallow, and why are you giving billionaire companies $1 million tax incentives? I get it. I get it. I understand it. I appreciate it. And in fact, in a perfect world, I'd vote against it too. But we don't live in a perfect world. And this data center, you mark my words, this data center or something like it is going to be built somewhere around here. Somebody, somewhere, is going to give whatever they want to get this thing done. And Ferguson is going to be left paying the higher energy costs, but getting none of the tax revenue. I hate to say what I'm about to say, but I have a feeling someday in the future, Ferguson is going to regret turning their back on this data center. I really, truly, honestly believe that someday in the not too distant future, Ferguson is going to look back on this and say, you know, we probably should have taken that data center. Yeah, I really honestly. Now, who knows? Who knows if it'll be in 5 years? Who knows if it'll be in 10 years? Who knows if I'm wrong? But don't we kind of wish Disney started building the Disney parks here? Right? Don't we kind of wish that the railways and the cattle, cattle. What am I talking about? The cattle yards. What am I saying? What's the
rail yards?
The rail yards. Right. Thank you. Right. Don't do it. Right. They went to Chicago. They bypassed St. Louis. Disney wanted to build downtown. They ended up going to Orlando
because AB wanted to sell beer.
AB wanted to sell beer. That was just unacceptable. Now Anheuser-Busch sells beer in Orlando on the Disney parks. So look, I get it. I understand it. I appreciate it, and I agree with it. But unfortunately, that's not the way the real world works. And the real world works is sometimes you have to hold your nose, and you got to give these billionaires incentives because someone else is going to give it to them. So God love you, Ferguson. God love you for standing tall and rejecting this data center. But somebody else is going to give them what they want, and they're going to build a data center right next door to you. And you're not going to get any of the tax benefits, but you're going to get all of the burden. So I'm heartbroken by this. But it is what it is. You voted. That's what you wanted. You didn't want it there. So I hope it works out for you. But I got a feeling these data centers are coming. And the people who get them it's going to be a tax windfall. Because the places that have these big data centers, it is a tax windfall. And the places that don't get it, you're still struggling. And I think this would have been a great boost in the arm for Ferguson. But for whatever reason, it was a tie vote 3-3, so it failed. But I don't know. We'll see how it all turns out. I think it was a bad move, but what do I know? 314-931-5877. 314-931-5877. Text your comments to 84126. No Cinco de Mayo on Cherokee Street. They announced a couple of weeks ago that they were doing away with Cinco de Mayo. They never really gave an answer. I think you would just, if you're reading between the lines, they would just have to assume that they didn't want to start any fights with ICE. They didn't want to deal with any issues where ICE agents could come in and start asking people for papers, and then you get protesters, then you have counter-protesters, then you have people protesting the protesters who are protesting, and then it turns into a giant nightmare. So I think nobody said this to me. The Cherokee people, the organizers, never floated this idea, but you have to assume. They said the festival just got too big, too many people were having too much fun, so they canceled the festival. Too many vendors were making too much money. We just can't have that. So they canceled the event for this year. Who knows if it's going to be back next year. But I suspect it had a lot to do with not wanting to cause a lot of problems when it comes to immigration and papers and undocumented workers and everything else. So where are you going to go for Cinco de Mayo? 314-931-5877. 314-931-5877. Text your comments to 84126. Who's on line one?
Steve.
Let's go to Steve on line one. Steve, good morning. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hello, McGraw. Man, I can't agree with you more on this. And I have no problem with communities saying, hey, I don't want the data centers, or I don't want this, or I don't want that. That's perfectly fine. I really think then you've put yourself in a position where don't come to us looking for more money for anything else. If you get in trouble later on and you need some funding for this or funding for that, hey, you had an opportunity to make the money and you decided not to do it. I'm from out in the Franklin County area, and they're really out there. They're really fighting this data center that's supposed to go in by Shaw Arboretum, and I'm fine with that. But none of the neighbors or anything should ever look for any grants or any help for anything, because they have the opportunity to have some revenue coming into the county, and if they want to fight it, then don't look for any money any other place else.
That's the
way I look at it.
Yeah, I had recently on, we replayed the interview here, county in Northern Virginia, which is it's called the Godfather of Data Center Alley. And they've got data centers all over the place, and they're open for business. And the amount of tax revenue that these data centers are generating for this county in Northern Virginia, they've redone all the schools, they've redone all the roads, they've lowered the property taxes, they got money coming out of their ears. They don't know what to do with all this tax dollars from the taxes that are generated from the data center. And I get it, Ferguson. I hope you made the right decision, but I got a feeling somewhere down the road they're going to lament that they turned all this down.
And I will say that I think that the data center, this is ironic, I'm in Ohio right now. I do a lot of marketing and helping other construction companies. It's amazing what's going on here in Ohio, Indiana, and it's going to keep migrating towards central part of America. But it's crazy what's going on here. But I really will say this: the data center, the data business as an industry, needs to do a much better job marketing itself, because there's so many untruths on the anti side, and there's we're just going to shut our mouth and just let the chips fall where they may on the development side. It makes no sense to me, because other than the cost of the electricity that has to get generated and go to the data centers, the water usage and everything is it's all a closed loop system. It's almost a moot point. None of it makes any sense to me. The other thing I'll say regarding taxes, excuse me on that, the other thing I'll say is don't spend all this money. Don't build all the roads there. Save yourself a nest egg, because in 50 years, there's going to be something else coming down. Don't just blow this money because you're doing it. Like I said, have a surplus there. Don't make anybody pay taxes. Live like you're in Alaska, where you don't have to pay taxes because there's so much revenue coming in from the oil.
Well, I will tell you this. I agree with you 700% that the data center industry is doing a terrible job, an awful job. It's not my job to educate people on data centers. They've done an extremely poor job in the face of the internet bullies, if you will, demanding answers and creating all sorts of false narratives online. And the data center industry has not fought back in any way, shape, or form to put out facts. So it isn't my job. It isn't my job to sort of do their job.
Exactly. But I think it's all because each one of these data centers is pretty much its own standalone entity. But somebody needs to get together, and I'm not pro or anti anything. If Ferguson or anybody Franklin County wants to say no data centers, that's fine. But cut yourself off from all future revenue sources, because it's not going to get any other easier than this. And granted, these data centers might only have 20 or 30 people working there once they're set up. I do understand that. There's not a lot of revenue there. It's not, but data centers don't need schools. Data centers don't need fire department, for your house. There's so many other things that they don't require, but they still pay a bunch in taxes.
Yes.
It's almost a no-brainer. But if they don't want to do it, that's perfectly fine. We're in America. Vote it down. That's fine. Don't look to any other taxpayers for any other help in the future. Don't let me hear you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Yep.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, if data centers are so great, why is there so much pushback? McGraw, why don't you interview a homeowner from that area in Virginia? You talked to one side and took it as gospel. I talked to the Department of, I'm going to get his title wrong, but it was Department of Economic Development, who has been there for 13 years in Virginia. Wasn't a whole lot of people complaining about their property taxes being cut. That is for sure. And I talked to him about the backlash, and he said there really wasn't much backlash. The people in the county are very fine with it up in Northern Virginia. I have talked to other people who are very much against data centers. I've talked to anybody who wants to talk to me, anybody who wants to come on. We've asked all across the political spectrum to come on and talk data centers, and every time somebody does, we get them on and we ask them the questions, and you can make the informed decision. 9:30 here, Big 550 KTRS, 314-931-5877. Text your comments to 84126. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here once again is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, an accident on 270 West at Illinois 203 is blocking the two left lanes and causing a stop and go back up to 111. Also in Illinois, 64 West is running slow from Greenmount to 159 with construction there. And the signals are on flash at Gravois and Laclede Station, also at Kings Highway and 44. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got two locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's talk windows and doors, because if you need a window or you need a door, do not be fooled by buy one, get seven free. Do not be fooled by, hey, we've got a deal for you. Listen to this. Window store. They sell windows. And if you want one window, they'll sell you one window. If you want 10 windows, guess what? You'll pay for 10 windows. But when it's all said and done, apples to apples, Window Store will have better pricing. Window Store will have better customer service. Window Store will have as good, if not better, actual windows and doors. You see, at the Window Store, locally owned and operated for 38 years. Larry Thornton is my neighbor, and he's beloved in the neighborhood by all the kids. They all come over and check in with Uncle Larry. He is also the owner of a company called the Window Store, and he's been installing windows and doors for 38 years. His son is also in the business, Joe, and together they beat the big boys at their business. Every single window they sell is energy efficient. There is no upselling. The one price includes everything. You don't have to pay extra for the glass or the lock or the screen. It all comes together with one price. And when you compare apples to apples, don't be fooled by marketing gimmicks. Window Store has better pricing. They don't want to try and sell you windows. They want to give you a bid. They'll do their bid with their talking. They'll give you a handshake in your living room and say, we hope to hear from you, and they're on their way. They're so busy installing windows and doors for so many other people, they're not gonna pressure you. They just, here's our price, hope to hear from you. And then I'm sure you'll be calling them and get in the queue, and then in a few short weeks, you'll get brand new windows and doors, and you'll love it. Just like everybody else for 38 years. 314-739-0002, wswindow.net.
From planning to planting, growing to harvesting, FS is with you every step of the way. Our team has the latest seed genetics, field-tested hybrids, proven chemistries, plant performance products, and premium fuels and lubricants to help you maximize yield and minimize downtime. Whatever you need, whenever you need it, FS is your trusted business partner. Visit fscooperatives.com to learn how we can support your farming operation from start to finish.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Heidi Glaus, and I want to remind you to tune in to the Heidi Glaus Show with Bob Ramsey and Josh Gilbert weekdays from 3 to 6. You don't want to miss all the fun. Plus, twice a month, we're joined by Dr. Ravi Johar, the Chief Medical Officer for United Healthcare. Dr. Johar and United Healthcare will keep us informed and educated about everything happening in the healthcare system, plus important facts to keep us healthy. United Healthcare and the Heidi Glaus Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemaristudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemaristudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
More than 200 adults with developmental disabilities are building independent lives with Emmaus Homes, supporting them every step of the way. At Emmaus, we believe everyone deserves the chance to make choices, grow friendships, and live full, meaningful lives in their own communities. This Give STL Day, May 7th, your gift will make a difference for adults with disabilities. Donate today at emmaushomes.org/GiveSTL. Together, we are building a world for spirited people living spirited lives.
To McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
You know, the other thing about this Ferguson vote last night, the data center vote failed. Think about this for a second. They had Emerson up there, which was the corporate world headquarters, and at one point they had 10,000 people working in that spot, right? A multinational billion-dollar corporation was headquartered right there. They've moved out, which was no fault of anybody's, right? But for all the things that are going on, they moved out, and those 10,000 people no longer work there. So Ferguson's got a hole. They got a job. They used to have a 10,000 person company right there in their backyard. Now they've got nothing. So they're waiting for retail. They're waiting for somebody else to come along and develop it. A bird in the hand. What are you waiting for? You pass on this, you really think how many more better opportunities are going to come down the line? Oh, no, we don't want this. What do you want for that Ferguson site that will be acceptable in terms of tax revenue? I don't think a car company's going there. I don't think Amazon or Google are going to put one of their data centers. It's fallen from the sky, and it's giving you a chance to repurpose that Emerson campus. And you're going to get a whole lot of tax revenue, and not a lot of services going to be needed. Right? You don't need police. You don't need fire. You don't need schools. So it's a boon for tax revenue, but not good enough. Charlie, line one. Good morning, Charlie. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thanks, McGraw. I agree with you 100% on these points about the data centers. I don't understand the unwillingness to take advantage of all this free money. I don't understand the financiers who are building these things to not show up and explain it in simple terms and say, look, this is a gift, take it. I don't understand that at all. But thinking out of the box here, is there some reason that Kara Spencer can't get together with people in the North St. Louis area that was hit by that tornado and say, look, what if we could put a package together to where there'd be some buyouts and where there'd be some money from this specifically to help the people right here that got hit? And would you be willing to do this? I don't think those people there would turn their nose up at that money. And then you're solving two problems at once, because obviously the city is not going to help them. Obviously the insurance companies are not doing their part. So that's going to sit there year after year after year. Maybe the data centers could turn that whole area around with some creative thinking on Kara Spencer's part. I just don't see those people turning their nose up at it. Of course, it would require some demolishing of certain homes and stuff to get enough room. But the infrastructure is there for everything else they need. And maybe that's possible, or is it not feasible?
So, Charlie, a couple of things. First of all, thank you for the phone call. Second of all, some of those houses weren't insured. Some of those houses weren't insurable. So insurance companies aren't going to insure, right? Aren't going to pay for a house that wasn't insured. Some of those houses were only worth $30,000. So it's impossible to rebuild a house for $30,000 because it's just not economically feasible. So
no, I'm not saying
no. I understand.
Have them move out.
Yeah. Well, again, yes, and yes. There are some homes that were destroyed. Let's take your average block, right? 2 or 3 homes were destroyed. 6 or 7 houses were completely vacant and empty lots, and 3 or 4 homes were left unscathed. Those 3 or 4 people, their homes are worth $30,000. Okay, great, buy them out, but where are they going to go find a house for $30,000? So you're stuck in this. You need large swaths of land. You can't get any large swaths of land because you try and buy them out, but they don't want to go. Do you use eminent domain on them? This is where Paul McKee comes in, right? Paul McKee, this terrible ogre who amassed all this land that was able to bring the geospatial place to town because he was the only one who amassed all the land, but he's the bad guy. So they look at what they did to a guy who tried to help renovate and rebuild North St. Louis. They vilified the guy and destroyed him and sued him, tried to sue him out of existence. So I'm not so sure too many developers want to go down into North City and try and redevelop something after look what happened to the last guy. So there's so many problems when it comes to the North City. It's much easier for developers to go to Troy or to go to some vacant land and buy 50 acres in St. Charles and build there than to deal with the headaches of downtown St. Louis.
What about the farmland that's for sale down there in Hazelwood? I'm very familiar with that area and that farmland, and it's not around any houses. And that's up for a price that these financiers with the data centers could easily afford, and then they'd be away from everybody. And it's one individual, it's one family that's selling it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that situation? I don't know why somebody hasn't put 2 and 2 together on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the data center will find a spot there. I don't know, and I don't know enough about Again, these data center people are specific with their specific needs. The Armory works for them.
Right by the river.
Yeah.
That's right by the river, and they need the water, and it's right by the power lines that come across the river, too.
I mean,
so they've got everything they want right there.
I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in the relatively near future somebody comes along and offers Hazelwood all the money for that data center. I don't know.
Well, that's owned by a family down there. That's not owned by Hazelwood.
Well, but what town is it in?
It's in Hazelwood, but it's owned by a farming family down there.
I understand it, but you'd probably need some type of zoning laws. You'd have to get some type of business permit or something, right? You'd have to. Chances are, if they wanted to build a permit on private land, they would have to go through City Hall to figure out how to do it.
Well, I agree with you on all these points. We're walking around in a fog on these data centers. I don't get it.
Charlie,
all right, thanks, McGraw.
Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate it. Scott's on line, too. Scott, good morning. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Yeah. The reason that they don't have Republican representatives in New England, I think, is because the voters there are kind of centrist and libertarian, like Susan Collins. And Trump and the Republican Party, they tend to be more extreme and fascist. So it's probably not because of gerrymandering.
Scott, I think they've gerrymandered Republicans out of existence in Massachusetts. Yes, there are people who are liberals. There are people who are independents. There are people who are liberal Democrats. There are people who are conservative Democrats. There are also people who are Republicans and are right-wing MAGA up in Massachusetts. They've just made sure that they've spread them out through gerrymandering so none of them get enough of a mass so they can get their own representative in Washington, D.C.
Well, this is according to Charlie Bass, who was a Republican representative in New Hampshire. So, I don't know.
All right. Scott, I got to go. Thanks for the phone call. Jim, line 3, you're on the Big 550 KTRS.
It must be Data Center Dilemma Tuesday. Hey, McGraw.
Hi.
Are you being paid by any kind of like an organization that's pushing data centers?
Absolutely not.
It's just like it's a recurring theme.
Hold on a second. Ferguson just turned down a data center vote. It's in the news. It's all over the place. That's why I'm talking about it.
Well, here's the deal, though. This is happening more often than not that these data centers are being denied permits. And so, to me, it should be newsworthy when a community says, "Sure, come on out and build right here." That would be newsworthy. It's just like another day at the in the salt mine. If when another city just says no, that's just what the normal that's the normal events that take place.
Well, all right.
Can we build a data center here? No. Okay.
Jim, thanks for the phone call. I will remind you that Montgomery County in Missouri, 80 miles west of St. Louis, has now signed up for a data center courtesy of Amazon. They have struck a deal, and so they are going to give Amazon tax breaks to build a data center facility in Montgomery County that is going to garner approximately $1.5 billion in tax revenue for Montgomery County schools, agencies, and governments. It's about a dozen massive data centers that have been pitched in recent months, and they have agreed to do it. Montgomery County has been very open to the idea of a data center and full steam ahead when it comes to Montgomery County in Missouri. So they agreed for the data center. It is an ongoing issue. And the fact that one place turns it down, another place says yes, is part of the ongoing conversation. So I think it's news that Ferguson just took a dormant headquarters that was once a thriving multinational corporation like Enterprise that has moved away, and the town in and of itself has rejected a data center that would rain down tax revenue on a depressed part of St. Louis County. I find that fascinating. And all I said was, I think someday they're going to come to regret it. And no, I'm not getting paid from anybody but KTRS Radio to do my job. But if I was one to be offended by that, I would be offended by you even insinuating that I was somehow paid to promote something that I truly didn't believe in. Now, with that being said, let me tell you about Beatty Roofing. Beatty Roofing. Yes, I am being paid for this. The station is being paid for this, and I'm proud of it. Beatty Roofing is a company that has been hired to fix the St. Louis Science Center roof, Lambert Airport, the Magic House, the Convention Center, McDonnell Douglas. Yeah, these are some of the projects that Beatty Roofing has been hired to fix. They are big in commercial roofing, and they are now big in residential roofing. So if you want a St. Louis company you can trust that's been in the business 70 years, Beatty Roofing would do you just right. They'll work with all insurance companies. They'll make sure your gutters and siding are also taken care of. Their pricing is very competitive, so you don't have to worry about that. If you're a first responder, they will give first responders a 10% discount on your roof. 70-plus years. They've worked on some of the biggest projects in St. Louis. If they're good enough for the St. Louis Science Center and Lambert Airport, I'm sure they'll take care of your roof. Beatty Roofing for 70 years. 314-892-1331 or online at Beatty, B-A-D-E, BeattyRoofing.com.
The final stretch of your career isn't about slowing down. It's about getting strategic. Those last 5 years before retirement can define your financial future, from maximizing contributions and paying off high-interest debt to mapping out health care and testing your post-retirement budget. This is your moment to take control. At Pioneer Wealth Management, we help you connect all the moving parts. Real peace of mind starts long before your final paycheck. Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Pioneer Wealth Management and Creative One Wealth are unaffiliated. Life insurance professional. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal.
Hey, it's Josh, and I want to tell you about a dentist office, my dentist office, and their new location, now open in Lake St. Louis Dentistry. Dr. Landgraf and the group of dentists have been my dentists my entire life. They've been my parents' dentists for their entire lives. And you don't keep generation after generation of clients unless you're really good at what you do. Now with 3 locations, Florissant, Creve Coeur, and the new one, Lake St. Louis Dentistry, half mile from 4064, and you can get an appointment today. Check out my dentist, LakeStLouisDentistry.com.
Jill Farmer here from my friends at Patriot Build Sunrooms. Patriot Build Sunrooms now provides expanded offerings like outdoor fireplaces, outdoor grilling centers, and patio covers. Patriot Build Sunrooms. Everything you need to make your backyard into a vacation without having to leave your home. Give Patriot Build Sunrooms a call for a free design consultation. 314-822-3232. Online at patriotbuildsstl.com.
It's that time of year. The kids are home. It's time for spring flowers, fresh mowed lawns, summer sports, and the ongoing question,
Mom, what's for dinner?
why not let Gingham's Restaurant handle that for you? Whether it's a great breakfast, lunch while you're out, a hearty home-style dinner, or a late-night snack, Gingham's is open 24 hours a day. And don't forget dessert. Start the summer off right with Gingham's Restaurant in St. Charles. 636-946-0266 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
You're selling your home, and I want to buy it. This is Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I am ready to pay top dollar for your home. No contingencies, no inspections, no monkey business. I buy your home no matter the condition or location, and you walk away with cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867, 314-283-0867, or at robankproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
I'm Jason Quillman, owner and founder of Window Depot USA of St. Louis. You don't replace your windows and doors every day, so when you do, make it count with the best product at the best value. At Window Depot USA of St. Louis, we bring you Energy Star most efficient triple pane windows built for maximum energy savings, superior sound control, and condensation resistance. And thanks to our national buying power, we offer high-performance triple pane windows competitively priced compared to other companies' double panes. Call Window Depot USA of St. Louis today at 636-939-4800 or visit us online at windowdepotstl.com.
Now back to McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, McGraw, I just looked up how many people are hired to operate data centers, depending on the size of the data center, and it's not going to be very many physical people on site at a data center, so it's not really going to affect the everyday economy of Ferguson, such as purchasing and going out to, I don't know. Yes, you're right. There's not a lot of people working at data centers, but they generate a lot of tax revenue. So in a sense, it's just tax revenue falling from the sky, and you don't have to educate the kids. You don't have to worry about the roads. You don't have to worry about all the fire or the police or anything like that. You don't have to worry about the smog or whatever else. All you have to worry about is collecting the tax revenue. It's a tax revenue without a whole lot of services that need to be rendered. So in that sense, it's even better than a factory. I mean, would you rather have a steel factory coming in there at Emerson Grounds? Who's on line for? Mike. Mike, good morning. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Good morning. McGraw, I drive between St. Louis and Dallas regularly.
And through Oklahoma, there's not much besides Indian reservations and casinos, but there are a lot of towns that you can tell are kind of run down. There is one town about 20 miles south of Tulsa that I stayed there one night in a hotel, and this town is booming. It's called Pryor, Oklahoma. I asked the person at the hotel, what were all these things? And they said there's data centers here. And they took an old military base next to a river, put in data centers, and this town is booming. They had a little town festival once when I was driving through, and I walked down Main Street. All the vendors are doing well. The police have new equipment. They're showing off their new fire trucks, and the local businesses are getting business from the people that are coming in and maintaining and programming, and they're building hotels out in the middle of nowhere. So it is definitely an economic driver, and just go to Pryor, Oklahoma, if you want proof.
All right, we'll take a look at it. Mike, thanks for checking in. Yeah, good stuff. What would you rather have at the Emerson site? Would you rather have, in some ways, I was talking to somebody, 2 or 3 days ago when this thing was coming up, and it was an official in another town. And this official from another town was hoping Ferguson would vote against this data center.
So he can.
And I said, why would you be in favor of Ferguson vote? He says, because if they vote it down, that gives us a better chance of getting one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What would you rather have in the Emerson campus? Would you rather them build a oil refinery there? Would you rather them build a steel plant there?
A dispensary?
Would you rather have a mall there? What would you rather have? Would you rather have a car company there? What would you want if you could pick any industry in the world that you would approve of the Emerson campus turning into? What would it be? What would it be? I don't know. You tell me. Because clearly a data center is not good enough for you. Miller Furniture, Mueller, Miller Furniture or MillerFurniture.com. 4 area locations. They have got an anniversary coming up, 100 years of a family running Miller Furniture. It is a wonderful family. They have custom furniture. They have Amish-made furniture. Beautiful, gorgeous Amish furniture. You need to go see it to believe it. They got a beautiful Stickley's that you can get over in Fairview Heights. They have 4 area locations. They also have mattresses. Oh, boy, do they have mattresses. I recently went and bought a mattress and not a box spring, but a platform, an adjustable platform. And so you raise your feet, you raise your head. Emerson's having a blast with the buttons. Miller Furniture. Well, that's where you go to get the quality stuff. They got $8 million of inventory in stock, ready for delivery with great sale pricing. There's always a sale going on at Miller Furniture. Go see for yourself. Fairview Heights, across the street from the mall, Lake St. Louis out at the Meadows, Ellisville on Manchester Road, and the world headquarters, the original, Belleville on Main Street. Miller Furniture, quality, American-made furniture that lasts. MillerFurniture.com. All right, thanks for putting up with me. Frank and Jill come your way next.
Frank and Alvin today.
Frank and Alvin come your way next. We'll see you tomorrow. Sorry, everybody.
Samano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon, right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. And now, another big 550 history fun fact about Cinco de Mayo. In Mexico, Cinco de Mayo is not a celebration, but a day of remembrance, commemorating Mexico's victory over the French during the